What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It is Monday, July 31st, 2023, year of our Lord. And we are doing this live from Detroit, having a good time, kicking it with a lot of energy. I'm feeling absolutely, positively ecstatic. Positively, absolutely ecstatic. What's going on, friends and family? How are y'all doing today? Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me give an early shout out to a few Cash Appers that is out here in the building. Shout out to Ruchi Reynolds is in the building with the 10 ball. I appreciate you. Absolutely appreciate you. Mike, that dude, is in the building. I appreciate you also with the 10. Man, Mike has officially crossed the threshold in which Mike will always get a round of applause because Mike hold me down every single day. Let me give a shout out to Mike, that dude. I appreciate you, my friend. Obviously, you see the value in what it is that we doing here. I don't ask for anything, but I absolutely appreciate the fact that you support me and hold me down. And that goes for all of you in the chat right now. Hey, give me some insight on what it is that y'all doing right now. Y'all at work, you at the crib, you chilling. I need to get a sense of where you are mentally right now. I need to understand where my people are so I can absolutely understand how it is that I need to be able to pour into you, because we have a lot to get into this week. Specifically on Monday, I got a full show lined up for y'all. So I hope you are buckled up. I hope you got your seatbelt fastened. I hope that everybody is in a good space, because we are going to be talking about the money today. We getting into the bag. Let me know what y'all talking about. Somebody said they working. Sam the God is drawn, working from home, working, playing basketball. You got your AirPods in? Exercising, cooking breakfast. I like that. Building an FTP server for work, always working, brushing my teeth, in the office, chilling on a day off, working from home, motivated this Monday, working, getting the stuff done, homeschooling, see work, just getting off of work, trucking, multitasking in the office. I feel like going to Canal Street to grab a rollie. I could retire, but I'm still hungry. Yep. Setting up for the job, getting ready to start this care business. Last week chilling. I start my new job next week. Congratulations, Mr. 6'9". 6'9", Jesus Christ. Working, virtual assistant, going over 2 new jobs. I like that, Cliff. Delivering mail. Shout out to my mail carriers in the gym, getting the sweat in, working. Good morning, motivated. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone. Say Ray Sean. I'm understanding the importance of getting my calendar together. Trucking. I got something for you today, Ash. We're gonna talk about trucking, writing 1,000 words, Jim working 3 jobs at once, editing videos for your channel. Shout out to you. I'm gonna be reading that super chat shortly. Also, shout out to all of the super chats. Purple Haze, I appreciate you. I'm gonna be digging into that in a minute. At home cooking, feel like tuning into Undisputed. Feel like I'm tuning into Undisputed. Congratulations on a new job, says Azriel, searching for a new job. Tanisha is working, starting a new design agency, construction work, running an excavator, and doing water and sewer in a new development. Yeah. MLJ Hustle said they watching the Millionaire Morning Show. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it because we have a lot to cover. So first and foremost, I'd love for you guys to be able to tap into Tej Handling, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Tej is a sponsor of the show. I know that there are some people, Jamal, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. I know that there are some people that want to tap into the Patreon. Today is the 31st, so wait until tomorrow. If you are looking to join the Patreon, which you should, and I'm actually doing a live stream because I wanted to wait till Rita got back into the town so that we can actually do the live stream together based off of what it is that we spending. If you are going to join a live stream, which I encourage you guys to do so, join it tomorrow. Do not join it today. Join it on Tuesday. The best day for you to be able to tap into the Bag Chasers is the first day of the month, all right? So all of my Patreon members, I need you to get on your calendar, put a reminder, say, yo, we are joining the Patreon tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are joining the Patreon tomorrow, all right? And we're going to get to it. So shout out to all of my Bag Chasers. Shout out to my people that's kicking it. Let me tap into the early super chatters to see what y'all talking about. Etria says, editing videos for their channel. Shout out to you. Get that bag, dog. Get that bag. Purple Haze says, what up, though, Anton? That must be from Detroit. Must be from Detroit. What up, though, Anton? I just want to say you are a blessing. Keep grinding, my friend. No matter what you go through, your purpose is so much bigger. Thank you, my friend Purple Haze. I appreciate you. Let's see. Jamal Park says, starting my print demand business. Let go. Shout out to Jamal Parks. Sierra says, hey, Anton, it's Janae. Check this out. Just was talking about this. It's official. I's married now. Congratulations. Thank you so much for our session. Already started working on my homework. You are appreciated. Hold on. We gonna stop this right there. We gonna stop this right here. Stop the show. Are y'all reading this? Are y'all reading this? We get people rich. We change mentalities. We get people married. We take care of business. Everybody in the chat, let me get the hand clap. Let me get a round of applause for Janae. Everybody in the chat, let me get a round of applause and a hand clap for Janae, because the coaching calls and the value and the Patreons and all of this other stuff, we are doing big fucking things. We not talking about it. We actually living it. We putting things in perspective. We taking care of business. Oh, I coach women too. Y'all didn't know that. Y'all thought that I only held y'all accountable. No, I add value into y'all lives. All right. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you for supporting the platform. Congratulations. And we always want to see people specifically successfully married. You see all your friends in the chat giving you love? See Simone giving you a congratulations? We a community over here. We are a true community of great people that love to add value in each other's lives. I can't wait to talk about my next Patreon meetup. Make sure y'all join the Patreon tomorrow. Congratulations, my love. I will be sending you a thank you text message. And I want to get the date too. Give me the date, because you never know. I might have some capacity to be able to come down and see y'all or come to y'all spots and see what's happening as far as, when y'all looking to actually have the celebration. Shout out to you. Iceberg Slim in the building says, Anton, you interviewing Payroll Giovanni would be epic. Y'all want me to tap in Payroll? I can call Payroll, see what he talking about. I can reach out to Payroll, see what he talking about. Shout out to my Detroit brethren. I got a little bit of time before I head over to Tokyo. All right, so listen, again, make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Again, Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Join the Patreon tomorrow, not today, tomorrow. All right? I did hear about the yellow trucking company, Michael. Let me read that super chat, and then we're going to get started into the show. Michael said, did you hear about the yellow truck company closing its doors completely? The yellow truck company is the place where the man was complaining about losing his 30-year pension. We're going to talk about that. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that today. That is a part of the agenda. All right, so make sure y'all hit a like for it. If y'all not sharing this with your family and friends, the likes is incredibly low considering how many people that we have in here. Come on, y'all, let's get started. All right, so we're going to get into it because we got a lot to cover today. Carlee Russell is being charged. Let's get straight into it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Let's rock out, y'all.
Good afternoon. Earlier today, Hoover police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carlee Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carlee home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed.
Do y'all realize that federal authorities came in to work this case? They cared so much about black women and they cared so much about women in general that y'all say that they don't have any kind of regard for. They care so much about black women that y'all say that she don't care, that they don't care about. I actually seen a video and a clip of her walking out of her lawyer's office. I seen her father being crazy, still falling into the trap. And I can't say that I blame him for supporting his daughter. I just don't think that I would be visible as a result of it. Because, you know, you do your loved ones and all of that other type of stuff or whatever, right? I seen Umar Johnson the other day say, support your kids no matter what, even if they are a little bit on that other side. You know what I'm saying? I can't say I blame her father. But look at all of the shit that she done put everybody through. They brought in federal authorities to come and find that white baby and the kidnapper that was using the white baby in order to find the culprit that allegedly at the time kidnapper. But anybody in their right mind could see what was going on. But there's a bigger message that they're trying to send out here, and I'm going to share that with you shortly.
Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find Carlee's alive so her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, Carlee Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction.
Let me ask y'all a question. Here's the question that I want to ask my chat. And I want y'all participating because I get my energy from y'all. And so in order for me to understand where it is that I need to go with this, I need to understand exactly where y'all are, right? These are misdemeanors, okay? These are not felonies. They are not major charges, in my personal opinion. Any jail time is bad jail time. Shout out to everybody that watched the full interview on the Patreon of Fleece Johnson. If you did not watch that interview of Fleece Johnson in the Patreon and say to yourself, I'm never, ever, 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 ever going to jail or prison in my life, then you need to be put on an island by yourself. If you did not watch, even the people that watch some of the clips on YouTube or my other channel, and if you did not watch some of those stories, yo, Fleece said to me with a straight face, he said, Anton, they tortured me. I said, how they torture you, Fleece? He said they put me in 4 points, naked, down in the basement where it was about 120 degrees next to the electric chair, tabbed me up and left me there and let the flies eat out of my booty. That's how he said it, out of my booty. He said that was one of the worst experiences that he ever had in his entire life. He said they just let hundreds and hundreds of flies go all into the crack. He said every time he moved, it felt like they was drilling down harder inside of his booty. I said, Fleece, all of these thugs getting out of jail every single day. I said, they all say that if you just mind your business, you ain't got to worry about nobody coming in and doing anything to you. He said, they a lie. He said, Anton, they are a liar. I said, wait a minute. You telling me these dudes be having whole girlfriends in prison? That be swanging? He said, yes. He said, they got whole women's and they have whole wives and families that's holding them down outside of prison. He said, but he said, they wife in prison is more important than their wife outside of prison. He said, they will get rid of their whole family in order to maintain that relationship that they got in prison. And that's the truth. He said, that's the truth. That's how he said it. Literally, that's how he said it. That is the truth. I said, Fleece, what happened when you first got into prison? He said, I was sitting there and I didn't know. He said, I was a young man. I was only 16 years old. And I seen this man, and he had been looking at a dirty magazine, and he said to me, I want the real thing. I want the real thing. He said, you gonna give me that booty. You gonna give me that booty. I said, Fleece, what did you say? He said, I was so scared as a 16-year-old. I said to myself, I'm about to get this man the ass that he ain't never had in his life. Yo. Yo. I said, family. Yo, I tried to hold my composure so much. I tried to hold my composure. I couldn't hold myself. Because it was like heartbreaking, and then it was just like, it was hilarious at the same time. But here's my question. Do you think, even though this is a misdemeanor considering the laws and the protection that we have around black women today, do you think that the prosecutors and the people that are going after Carlee Russell, considering everything that's happened right now, right? Because again, usually we're used to women not having any accountability whatsoever. Any accountability whatsoever. But now, they not fucking around over in Alabama. They said, listen, I like you and I want you. And I'm going to have you. That's what the prosecutor is saying. I like you and I want you. Now, we can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. Let's continue.
Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County, Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused.
People are pissed. They are pissed all the way up to pisstivity. We got over 1,000 I'm pissed right now because we got over 1,000 people in here and we got a minimal amount of likes. We got over 1,000 people in here, and I am about to go into my second T. Chanley commercial. He said they receive calls all over the country, and people are pissed that she's only being charged with 2 misdemeanors.
Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime.
What I've been saying for a long time is that fellas need to remove themselves from participating in A, the protection, B, the aiding, C, the simping, and then D, even having a conversation about what it is that we need to be doing with women, specifically black women, considering that they refuse to hold themselves and each other accountable. Refusal. Until we get laws passed and we started advocating all the way up into our legislative branches, and we start holding politicians accountable for actually pushing for things that actually evolve the family court laws and make sure that we start holding people accountable for the actions like they already do men, then men need to divest themselves from even having conversations on what protection looks like in the first place. Alabama ain't fucking around. He said, listen, we understand. The only thing that we can do is we can prosecute to the furthest extent of the law. Let me ask y'all a question. Considering this, right? And we know that DJ Envy is a simp and there's going to be simps all over the place, right? Considering, do you guys believe that she's actually going to do jail time? That's my question. Do you think that Carlee Russell is actually going to do jail time? 30 days, 10 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, up to 1 year in prison. Do you believe, thank you, Philip Sadiq, I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Do y'all, everybody is saying no. All of the fellas I see right now are saying no. Do you believe at any point she's going to be held truly accountable for her actions? Let's see what else he got to say really quickly, and then we're going to move on.
Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case, and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system. Joining me at the podium today is State of Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall.
Thank you, Chief. Let me begin by commending Hoover Police Department Chief Durgis for his leadership in this investigation. Obviously, this captured many's attention as a result of not only the allegations themselves, but also the concern about a possible victim and being able to return her home. The work that was done by the Hoover Police Department was monumental in its lift, and the results of that work you are seeing come to fruition today with the charges that have been levied. I also want to commend the many other men and women of both state and federal law enforcement for their work collaboratively with the Hoover Police Department in assisting in this investigation. Chief, appreciate the opportunity to be able to partner with you in this prosecution. We will dedicate a team to be able to help the city of Hoover in handling these 2 individual charges and look forward to bringing this case to fruition.
One of the problems is that from a financial perspective, let's break this down in both ways. From a financial perspective, the first problem is that she's not being held accountable for the level of resources that was dedicated in order to ensure. What the hell is going on here? What's up, bro? So what now? Yeah, what's going on? The first problem is she's not going to be able to absolutely positively be held accountable for the financial resources that was levied in order to make sure that this A is prosecuted and then B, we find this white baby that never existed. You know how many they brought in federal officers, resources, investigators, all of this stuff in order to try to find this chick. And she was playing with y'all emotions. And that don't even consider all of the different women across the world, let alone the United States of America, that accuse men of doing things that they never did and is getting out as a result of the Innocence Project, but you can't hold them accountable as a result of it. If I had to guess, I believe that she is going to do some time. I believe that she is going to have to do some time. I don't think that she's going to do a lot of time, but I think that they dedicated to trying to make an example out of y'all. In my heart, with the way that they pursued this case, with the way that they was adamant about the idea that they had to charge her, with the fact that they seeing this thing all the way through, I don't think that they're going to go halfway. I don't think that they're going to go halfway. I believe that the state of Alabama is going to figure out how it is that they can have her and use her as an example. I think that they're going to use her as an example. I don't think that this is the end of it. But the bigger caveat is this. Women, don't y'all start to see writing on the wall? Didn't I warn y'all? Didn't I warn you that eventually you was going to push the narrative so fucking much? You were going to push it so much to where you break it. The straw that broke the camel's back. She is the first of what I think is going to be a wave of accountability that is going to start to be levied across the world. When you see what's happening over in Dubai and they like, yeah, that's nice. Keep your ass over here. Scream at us if you want to. When I see what's happening over in Alabama, society, not just men, but society in general is tired. They're tired of all of the foolishness that we continue to waste our time and the resources on. They not fucking around with y'all no more. Honestly. Y'all better straighten the fuck up. Get it together, straighten up, go home. Take your ass home. For all of y'all that's over there spending the night with niggas that ain't even yours, take your ass home. Go home. You're going to find yourself in a situation that you don't like. Go home. Yep, I'm talking to you. I see you over there. You want to listen. You are somewhere where you're not supposed to be right now. Somebody watching this, right? A woman watching this right now is in a space that she not supposed to be in right this fucking minute. She thinking about doing something that she ain't supposed to be doing. She moving in a way that's not going to be conducive to her family. Not going to be conducive to her future. That's not going to be best for her. Walk the fuck away and go home. Go home. You're going to put yourself in a situation that's not best for you. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. I'm telling you. Listen. I don't know who it is. God talked to me. I know y'all don't believe it. God talked to me and he said, is somebody that is watching this right now or is overhearing somebody else watching it and they are thinking about or they doing something that they not supposed to do and they getting into something that's not going to be conducive for their lifestyle, go the fuck home. That's your message. That's for you personally. Go the fuck home. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I told y'all it's going to be a crazy week this week. What the hell says, what the hell? What the hell said, what the hell? Jamal Parks is in the building, says that fleece impersonation. I don't know what I be doing out here in these streets. I just be living, you know what I'm saying? I don't plan what it is that I'm going to say. I just say it when I say it. You know what I'm saying? Dominique Ward is in the building, says, I'm literally in tears with that fleece impersonation, tying you a fool, bro. Where's the movie houses? Oh, I forgot. Everybody on strike, so they're not giving me my contract right now. Shout out to Dominique. Philip Sadiq is in the building, says Tawana Brawley and Al Sharpton laid down the foundation for this mess. I said it, and I lived that shit. Oakland Cali is talking right here. Shout out to Philip Sadiq, always been supporting the platform. Obey Jet23 says the whole Birmingham been on her Facebook. Y'all don't fuck around in Birmingham. Shout out to y'all. Deshaun Love says 3 years minimum, and that kind of behavior is unacceptable. She's not even going to get 3 years. She's not going to get 3 years because the charges that she got does not necessarily substantiate 3 years. Black Guy Bigot says, hey, Anton, I'm finally stepping into my... Y'all going to have to change y'all names. Y'all got to change y'all names. A lot of y'all... Listen. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you to my Canadians and all of the people that support the platform. Says, hey, Anton, I'm finally stepping into my financial strat at 30 years old. All the way from Toronto, Canada. I got a lot of Canadians. I'm going up to fucking Canada. I'm going to run that shit up. I'm ready to join the Bag Chasers as I begin to buy and rebuild Michigan. When's the next Detroit meetup? Listen, tap into the Patreon tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the best day for you to be able to join in. I got something that I'm dropping today, and then I'm going to drop something tomorrow. Tap into the Patreon tomorrow, and we're going to have that conversation. But I also need you guys to update y'all emails and to update y'all names because y'all out here being crazy. Yo, somebody sent me an email the other day, and it was so articulately wrote, and it was so awesome, and it was like, hey, Anton, and they all of the punctuation, I swear to fucking God, ChatGPT wrote it. Because then when I looked at the email address, it was like, I'm up all the way, getting to the bag. Like, y'all got to have more professional emails. Y'all got to have more professional emails. Your email name has to match your professionalism. A lot of y'all got emails from 10 and 15 years ago that y'all still using. Y'all going to have to be able to update that shit. So again, make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I appreciate you. Let's continue on, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen A. Smith. Stephen, my boy. Stephen, my boy, is out here going off on everybody. I want to jump right into this because this was crazy. This was crazy.
I've been waiting for the last few hours to discuss the subject that
I'm going to speed it up a little bit, just a little bit.
Paul George has a podcast. I forget the name of it. Somebody remind me, please, when you get a chance. Podcast P. Podcast P. I had a problem with the nickname Spicy P, which is the nickname for Pascal Siakam of the Toronto Raptors. So if I had the problem with the name Spicy P, what do you think I could say about Podcast P? But I digress. I'll instead focus on addressing Paul George and his cohorts in the world of podcasting because they chose to address me. It'll give them additional clicks. They'll elevate their level of popularity, I have no doubt. And I'm here to please because I don't want them to fail. I want them to succeed. I want all these brothers to succeed. I want JJ Redick to succeed. I want Draymond Green to succeed. I want Patrick Beverley with his podcast to succeed. I'm all for the fellas getting theirs.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question before we get really into this, right? Because Paul George and the people on his podcast had some wild shit to say about Stephen A. Smith. Now, what I'm starting to find is that everybody not letting that shit slide no more. Everybody not letting that shit slide no more. Now that they got their own microphone, they said, listen, we ain't got to be politically correct. We're going to get straight to the shit. Here's the question that I have to ask y'all before we really deep dive into this. Do y'all really want y'all enemies to succeed? When y'all say, listen, what I'm saying right now is objective, but at the same time, I want you to win. Do y'all really want the person that you're going against or the person that you're having a conversation against to win? I think that it's human nature to say it. I don't think that it's human nature to actually mean it. I don't think that y'all want the people that y'all don't care for to actually be successful or at the very least be as successful as you. When I see people say that, I think that they being disingenuous. Let's continue.
Always been about that. Always will be about that. And before I go any further, let me say that even though I'm still not sure about how deep I'm going to go, I think it's appropriate to preface my comments by saying that I've always been a fan of Paul George. Not just Paul George, the basketball player, but Paul George, the person.
Why do people give a compliment before they start going in on a motherfucker? You know what I'm saying?
A lot of love for him. He's good people. He's a star in the National Basketball Association. I got mad respect for him.
I see you, messy mathematician.
But I respectfully disagree with what he had to say about me because I think he's wrong. His cohort, what is that? Jackie Long, is that the name again?
Y'all know who Jackie Long is? Jackie Long is the dude that was in, I think it was called ATL. Jackie Long is like been in a few movies and stuff like that. Like he's not an A-list actor. Like he not on no Denzel Washington type shit or whatever. I don't even know how you would differentiate between a B, a C, and a D-list actor. Azriel says, Anton, you do the same thing, complimenting first. I'm going to tell y'all why I do that. Fantasy Girl, fan said, you definitely know how that feels, Anton. I'm going to tell you why I do it, and then I'm going to give you my opinion of what it is that they do. But that's later. Let's continue.
That's a different matter altogether, my brother. I'll deal with your ass in a second. Before I do that, let me let y'all hear Paul George responding months later to something I said months ago about Kawhi Leonard and his perpetual injuries, AKA load management or whatever the hell you want to call it. This is Podcast P commenting about yours truly. Listen to this.
I heard Stephen A talking about he could have, like, Kawhi could have gave you 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Bro, it's not about that. Like, if I got to go on the floor and I can't be myself, then, like, what the fuck am I on the floor for? Now I'm liable to get even more hurt. It was a dumb take.
Have Stephen A. Smith played any professional sports?
Hell no.
Exactly. So he shouldn't even be speaking on what y'all got to go through every day to put y'all.
And I don't think fans just really understand, like,
what y'all go
you
through.
try to play through injuries. That's the goal. If you can play through it, you're going to play through it. If you can't, there's a reason why. Like nobody wants to sit out for no reason.
Let me say this before Stephen A. goes in on whatever it is that he's about to say, all right? With the amount of money that fans spend today, because it's not just casual anymore. If you gonna be a fan, like I'm talking about a fan that is participating in what's going on in the sport, especially basketball. Even baseball is cheap. Like you can go and get some baseball tickets and sit in the stands and just have fun and go get the hot dogs or whatever. But when you go to an arena, you spending some money, like relative to whatever your situation is, right? You can't go out. First of all, you're not going by yourself. So you usually going to spend some money, or you take a girl with you, or even if you want to take your family with you, it costs money and it's relative, right? So I'm not even going to use myself as an example. I'm just going to say in general, to go to a basketball game, and you're not just going for the team that's the home team, you're going to see whoever the star is, you're spending hundreds at least of dollars. I don't know anybody that's ever went to for parking, you're going to pay. If you get any food while you're there, you're going to pay. The tickets, not only is the tickets egregious as far as the initial cost of the tickets themselves, even if you get it for a bad team, but then you got all of the fees that's tacked on top of it from Ticketmaster and all of that other type of stuff, right? Then you're going to go into the arena, and they're going to give you a half-ass performance, and they're going to walk in a lot of times with an attitude like you owe them money. They're going to walk in like you owe them money. One thing that I've seen from basketball players, the basketball players that are American versus the black, let me just be for real. Black basketball players versus other basketball players, it's a completely different sentiment. Jokic, who, a lot of y'all, I know it's the ladies, so we're going to bring it back to the money. Jokic won a championship this year, and he was the MVP, right? Or actually, he wasn't an MVP. He's a former MVP. Joel Embiid won it last year. But Jokic is a foreign player that plays every game and leaves his heart out on the floor, right? When he comes in, now you got to remember, this is a West Coast team versus an East Coast team. West Coast teams only come to your city one time, right? So if you're a West Coast team, let's say you a LeBron James, you a Jokic, you are a Devin Booker, a Kevin Durant, or something like that, somebody that plays on the West Coast versus the East Coast, right? The Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference, they only come to your city one time a year, right? So a lot of times, especially when we get our season tickets in the beginning of the year, what happens is people plan for that. I mean, them tickets go sky fucking high, right? Because those are the premium games. Those are the games that people pay a lot of money. Last year, I didn't go to the Golden State game because I had another engagement. And so because I seen it on my calendar, I went ahead and listed the tickets. My Golden State tickets went for $8,000 for 2 seats because I'm on the floor. My Golden State tickets alone, coming to the Detroit, Steph Curry, all of them, my Golden State tickets alone. It's my daughter's favorite team. We've seen Steph Curry play and all of that other type of stuff. She's a Steph Curry fan and all of that. So you're willing to pay a premium. My Steph Curry tickets went for $4,000 a piece. And they sold way before the season even started. And people are willing to pay a premium because a lot of times it's on their bucket list. They take their kids or whatever, and it's not like people are spending an egregious amount of money to be able to support these players. Now, when you see these contracts, you see the Jaylen Brown making $304 million a year. You got Paul George making $30 and $40 and $50 million a year. Fans understand the fact that you may be hurt, but load management and the possibility of you just chilling and you getting millions and millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars per game. What I personally have seen is the Jokic's and the Lukas and all of them, when they come in, they love on the fans. They show love. They hug the kids. They walk over after and they sign autographs. They go and give high fives. And honestly, this is my general sentiment. When I see black people, the ones that feel like they deserve it or they walk around like they shit don't stink, they yell at, they don't yell at fans, but they be looking at them with attitude, hey, don't fucking touch me type shit and all of that. They have a completely different mentality, and I don't know what that is. Why are the foreign players and even the white players that are initially from here, like they just show love. They genuinely just be on some cool shit. And I love the fans. Thank you. Oh, man, y'all so awesome or whatever like that. But the other ones, they be looking like, yo, I got my drip on. If a fan get too loud, they say, yo, I had one NBA player that threatened to come and see me after the game. Crazy, man.
I'm amazed. Do you have any idea who the hell you're dealing with?
Ooh, talk your shit, Steven.
Any idea at all? I think it's important to give my resume. Don't you? I think it's important. Speaking of my man, Galen Gordon, he's here in Vegas with me, my brother. Great, great television producer. He sit right next to me. I think it's fair. Paul George. I've been covering the NBA since 1996.
That's a long time.
In 2 years, that would make 30 years. I was covering the NBA since you were in elementary school.
Oh, talk to him.
I think I know a thing or two about basketball. And I also think that covering the sport the way that I do, and you know this, Paul George, because of your personal experiences with me and some of the things that I could have said about contemporaries and colleagues and others that I never did, that you know if something comes out of my mouth, it's not just my opinion. Players, coaches, scouts, player personnel directors, assistant GMs, GMs, presidents, owners. Do you really want me to sit here and talk about the Los Angeles Clippers?
Stephen A. said, listen, my resume speak for itself. I was talking about this and I was putting my work in before y'all was born or when you was 8 years old. He said, I've been doing this since 1996. That's almost 30 years, yo. That's all. Listen, at the very least, you got to respect the people that didn't put the work in and been doing it the right way. Stephen A said I've been doing this since 1996. And yes, I did speed it up. So we talking a little bit faster. Here, you want me to speed it up a little bit more? I got you.
The perks and the treatment that folks have received and how the fans have been cut short. I could go there. Paul George, did you know that you're the 34th highest paid athlete in the world, according to Forbes magazine, for the year 2023? $51.5 million total. $9.3 million in endorsements. I could say I'm waiting for a championship, Paul George.
Can y'all imagine what it's like to make $55 million in a year? To make $55 million in a year. And listen, if you paying me $55 million a year, you can say what the fuck you want. Listen, you have the right as a fan, as a journalist, as a reporter, as people that want to criticize. In my opinion, I cannot be sensitive making 55 M's in a year. In 1 year. I know they want us to take it into consideration and NBA players' mental health and how they feel and all of that shit. Listen, if you pay me $55 million a year, you can say what the fuck you want to say about me when it comes to the opinion of what it is that I do on a basketball court.
That kind of money. But I happen to believe you would have had one had it not been for your injuries because I think you're that gifted. So I'm not going to disrespect you like that. Plus, I got love for you. Did you know that Kawhi Leonard is number 35 on the list? Last year? $50.5 million total. $8 million in endorsements the year 2023. If you combine your money with his money, that equates to $102 million in salary and $17 million in endorsements for a franchise that went the fuck home in the first round.
I have never seen, I don't think in my entire time that I've been watching Stephen A. Smith, and I've been watching Stephen A. Smith for a long time, I'm actually a fan of what it was that he's been able to build and his opinion and all of that. And I like to have a different opinion of him and stuff like that. I have never seen Stephen A. Smith say, and went the fuck home. Stephen A. Smith sound like what we be doing over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. We be cursing and getting censored and all type of shit and getting our stream shut down and stuff. I have never in my life heard Stephen A. Smith say, and went the fuck home. I got to rewind that a little bit.
$102 million in salary and $17 million in endorsements for a franchise that went the fuck home in the first round. I would repeat that, but I don't think it's necessary.
Oh, talk your shit, Steven.
228 NBA players have played more games.
Talk your shit, bro.
Than you. You're at 189 games over the last 4 years. 297 players have played more games than the 161 games Kawhi Leonard played over the last 4 years. Do I need to continue? Do I need to continue? Everybody saying no. Paul George, as you know, my sister Carmen adores you, loves you to death. She's here in Vegas too, you know. She's standing a few feet away from me. She's going to be on here in a few minutes. Do you know that she's sitting over there 5 feet away from me, Paul George, cringing, begging me to stop?
That's what women do. Hey, don't do it. Don't go. Anton, don't say it. I'll be like, skip that shit. It's on. It's up from here.
Please stop talking about Paul. Please, Steve, don't say any more. Please. I'm not disrespecting you. You're a star, and I got love for you. But I'm giving you facts.
Talk your shit,
I'm going to
Steven.
continue, Paul George, because I have the notes right here. You've missed 119 of 308 regular season games. That's 38% due to injuries.
You missed 119. You missed more than a third of what you are guaranteed to get paid for. Let's put this in perspective, y'all. You miss more than a third of what it is that you getting paid. Now we get it. Injuries are a thing, so on and so forth. But here's the question that I got though. How you gonna get an attitude and you getting paid regardless of whether you show up or not?
In that time span, you've earned $148.2 million in your career. 57.3 million of those monies were for games missed. That good enough stuff for you, King?
I wish I can get paid for not doing a Millionaire Morning Show.
Kawhi Leonard He's missed 147 of 308 regular season games. That's 48% due to injuries. Kawhi's earned $146.9 million in his career with the Clippers. About $70.8 million were for games he's missed. So combining that 70 with the 57.3 million, the 70.8 million.
Bam Bam reading that super chat shortly. Could y'all imagine only going to work 61.5% of the time and getting paid 100% of your salary? Could you imagine going to work for 61% of the time? That means a little over half of the time that you're supposed to be at work, you go. Shout out to Pro. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. And you get paid 100% of your salary, guaranteed, no matter what happened. Only thing you got to do is not bring a gun in the locker room or not grape somebody and you good. Jesus Christ.
Million plus 57.3 million. That comes up to $121.1 million in salary paid to you both for missed games. I don't see the Clipper fans getting any refunds.
Facts.
I still am waiting for that championship from the fair-weather stepchild known as the Clippers compared to the Lakers, even though I think the Clippers are a first-class organization and your day is coming.
Reading that super chat shortly, just saying.
And let's make sure we remind the world why you chose months later to call me out. I wish you would have just called me on your podcast. I'd have came, Paul. You know that. For you, anytime. I would have came. But since you decided to go this route, this is why I have a podcast. See, you got to understand something. I'm not going to go after everybody, and I'm not going to respond to everything. But the beauty of my podcast, which I own, I operate, I control, is that I can reach out and touch anybody I damn well please anytime I want to. If I've touched presidents and former presidents and presidential candidates and senators and congressional figures and everybody else, what the hell makes you think I'm going to be scared to touch you?
Talk your shit, Stephen A. What y'all think? That y'all going to say something and y'all not going to get this shrapnel? If I was Stephen A, I'd have been like, say my name. What up,
now,
Brandy?
For the audience that's missing a boat in all of this and wondering, where's the context? Here's where the context comes from. On my show, First Take on ESPN, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, the #1 sports morning show for 11 and a half years and counting. And by the way, you'll see a press release coming out in just a matter of days showing that, yet again, for the 12th consecutive month, we're up in the ratings year over year, or rather month over month for the 12th consecutive month. And our ratings are pre-pandemic ratings, just as an aside. Because, see, I want to talk facts.
Talk your talk.
I want to make sure you know I got receipts.
Talk your talk. Show the
Having said all
receipts.
that, let's provide perspective as to why Paul George felt the need to bring me up in, dare I say, truculent fashion, to say the least.
I like this.
Here's the reason why.
I like this version of him.
Because on First Take, I looked in the camera and I said, Kawhi Leonard is a superstar. He's a two-time NBA champion. He's a two-time NBA Finals MVP. But he is the worst superstar our game has ever seen.
Facts.
And I talked about how he might as well just retire.
That's a fact.
Now, was I speaking to some degree with a touch of emotion? Yes, I was. Because once again, he was supposed to be available for the playoffs, and he's going at Kevin Durant, and he's going at these brothers, and he's dropping 38, 39 points. And then the next game, we find out on game day, he can't go. We're like, damn, I ain't see you get injured. I ain't see you walk off the court. I ain't see you get carried off the court like Paul George, whether it be an Olympic competition or on the court for the Clippers. I didn't see anything like that. You walked to the bench, you sat down, you drank some Gatorade or water or Powerade, whatever the hell you were drinking. You looked fresh. You showed up to shoot around one morning. Ty Lue is planning to use you, and let's make this noise against Phoenix. They got Kevin Durant now, along with that brother Devin Booker. We got a problem. But we can resolve this with Kawhi Leonard, and all of a sudden he can't go. I'm like, damn. There's always something. Why don't you just retire? And then I took it a step further. Without questioning his injury, because I wasn't. Because people within the Clippers organization talked about how legitimate it was. I elaborated on why Kawhi Leonard is a god-awful superstar. Notice I said superstar because I'm not questioning his greatness as a player. I call him a god-awful superstar, the worst superstar in the history of the NBA as far as I'm concerned. Because, number one, I already highlighted the games missed. And number two, he does absolutely positively nothing to promote his team or the sport.
I agree. Where's the lie? Where's the lie that Stephen A is saying right here? Where's the lie? Listen, if I am paying you the type of money, listen, I don't care if I'm paying you $50,000, $60,000 a year. If I'm paying you, at the very least, I want you on the bench with a fucking towel cheering people on, all of that shit. I don't want you sitting there stoic, slow motion, chilling, and none of that. I want you actually doing everything that you can to add value. If you can't add value, at least in a way in which we were paying you. I want you to actually be pushing, coaching, motivating people, cheering your teammates on, showing up to the games instead of chilling at the crib. If you making hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally $40, $50 million a year, yo, show the fuck up. Show up. What up? Yeah, man, we showing support, yo, let's get it, whatever. You telling me you just chilling and you ain't even on the side, you don't even show up? You go over there in your New Balance?
I got my PR girl Salon sitting right over there. I got a producer right here extraordinaire in Galen Gordon that knows TV like the back of his hand. If you can't sit up there, okay, and at least take time to market and promote a brand you represent so you can help facilitate them making money, then all you doing is taking money. If you ain't available when it counts.
That's a fact.
Who can't understand that? We suddenly don't know business with all the money you've made, Paul George. All the money you've made. As smart as you are, as accomplished as you are, as business savvy as you work to be every single day with contemporaries like KD and Steph.
Jake, check this out. Jake says, no, Anton, that ain't the contract. What the contract say, put it in the contract. That means that man contract doesn't say he got to care about the fans. He working his contract. Fans got to watch no matter what. Is this what we doing? Is this what we doing? Listen. Every day I engage, right? The way that I do when I put my show together is centered around you guys, right? Now, I could just do clips or just drop videos, but I do this because I want y'all to get y'all day and y'all week started off correctly, right? When I first started this was called After Hours. It wasn't called the Millionaire Morning Show. We was doing it at night. We wasn't doing it in the daytime. But then I realized that in order for me to really reach you, I don't want to catch you at the end of your day where I can't impact how it is that you live your life. I want to catch you at the beginning. And so, whereas other people is taking your money and your resources and they fucking selling you courses and all of this other type of shit, when other people are charging you $1,200, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 for a coaching session, right? The thing that they would really be charging other people, we figure out how it is that we can add as much fucking value that we can into the people, right? Because y'all are the people that support us. Without y'all, there are no us. Without the fans, there are no players. Without the fans, there is no TV contract, right? And so I think that what we see nowadays is that once people get paid, they start taking people for granted. The people that love you and support you, right? You also got to do it for the people that's going to come after you. The players that came before you, they love the fans, and so you then came and benefited off of it as a result of it, right? And so y'all got to stop looking at this shit based off of just what's in the contract and start looking at it based off of the value that you can add from the people that support you regularly, right? When people send me product or whatever, I don't make no money off of when people send me product or when they send me their hoodies and stuff like that. I just wear that shit based off of the love because I understand that y'all are with me and I'm with you, and so this is how we gonna do this shit together. I truly care about you. When I see these dudes walk into the NBA, yeah, it's not in a contract that they got a high five or fucking sign a little kid's jersey or nothing like that. But it's a level of appreciation that comes from the people that love and support you and is putting money in your pocket, because without the fans, there are no you. When I go into corporate America or when I'm doing something for corporate America, it's not in my contract that I got to volunteer for this or volunteer for that, but I'm very much appreciative and I'm thankful for the value that they give me. And so as a result, I want to give them more value, which allows for us to make way more money long term. Am I the only person that sees this and I say, yo, we need to value and appreciate people instead of looking at them as just a fucking paycheck? appreciation, love, support. Yo, I'm with you. Let's high five. Flying into different people's city in order to be able to add value into their life and all that. I don't really understand that. Did we get so far removed and we only look at people as commodities to where we don't want to add value into their life?
And of course, LeBron, Russell Westbrook, your brother, who's doing big things in the business world. Big things. Don't get me started with his car dealership. Damn it, I thought he owned a damn town as many dealerships as I saw Russell Westbrook dealerships, for crying out loud. Well, what these brothers know about business, what you know about business, Paul George, you can't understand what I'm saying? If you don't market the product and the brand you represent, and you are not on the court 48% of the time, like Kawhi Leonard wasn't over the last several years, what are you doing? What are you doing?
He's right.
I didn't say the man was faking any injuries.
I'm going to read that super chat shortly.
I didn't say the man doesn't care. I didn't say he doesn't work hard. What I said was, damn, you can't give me 5 minutes, you can't give me 2 minutes. I even used the Pat Riley analogy in the book, Blood in the Garden, when he asked Charles Smith, if we needed you desperately for 5 minutes right now, could you give it to us? Charles Smith said, yeah. He said, then what the hell are you doing in street clothes? I only used that analogy. That's all I was trying to say.
That's a fact. At the very least, show support for your teammates. Throw on your clothes. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. Get dressed. You know what I'm saying? Actually come out. I'm going to tell you a player that do that shit. Steph Curry, I remember a couple years ago, it wasn't last year, but it was the year before, he couldn't go. And we went to the game or whatever. But Steph Curry came out and all of the fans went crazy, right? And he came out and he actually went and shot. He couldn't play in the game, but he did his normal warm-up ritual routine because he knew that all of the kids and all of the people was going to come in the beginning of the game in order to see it. He ran out and he was high-fiving people and he was giving play and showing love and he was cheering on his teammates and all of this other type of shit. He was injured, but at the very least, he gave that energy. He gave that love to the people that love him so much and support him, and to his teammates and to the fans. And even though he didn't necessarily go that day, people appreciated the fact that he showed up. He didn't have to. It wasn't in his contract. He could have went out in street clothes and stuff, but he was just out there showing love with his teammates, having a good time, playing with the fans, and people love him for it. People have learned to love them for it. That's all we saying.
But I'll tell you something I should have said, Paul George, that I didn't. Whether he had to hop, skip, or jump, I bet you Kawhi Leonard's ass could have done that to the bank.
Facts.
Because he got a checkbook that shows it. These are facts.
That's a fact.
Now, you ain't alone. Because J.J. Redick, star of the Old Man and the Three podcast, exceptional job with him too, who contributes on First Take, jumped all in me when I said what I said about Kawhi Leonard on First Take. But make no mistake about it, I didn't back up.
Let me fast forward a little bit.
Question what a dog he is when it comes
at ESPN. Proud to call him a colleague. Does an exceptional job for us. Love, respectfully, as I told him to his face. Don't give a damn what he does. Y'all do it on a regular basis. And you talk about literally in today's NBA, you said he gets. I mean, my God, I'm surprised that literally Steve Ballmer isn't doing Kawhi Leonard's toenails himself.
I want to get to another part.
Don't get me started with everything this man has done for Kawhi Leonard. It would be nice to see more of him. But that's all I wanted to say about that. What I wanted to get to before I ended this particular segment is this dude, Jackie Long.
Do y'all know who Jackie Long is before he started deep diving into Jackie Long? Because he didn't just address Paul George. Let me pull up Jackie Long for those of y'all that may not be familiar with Jackie Long. Jackie Long is a co-host with Stephen A. Smith on his podcast. All right. This is Jackie Long. Let me see if I can pull him up. That's Jackie Long. Y'all know who I'm talking about? All right, let me use a different picture. Maybe you'll recognize him a little bit differently. This is... Here we go. This is Jackie Long. He was in ATL. He was in a few movies or whatever. And again, very few people would consider him an A-list actor, but he's a co-host with Paul George, also questioning, he's an actor, but he's also questioning Stephen A. Smith and saying, why is Stephen A. Smith even allowed to talk about basketball? Okay, so this is who he's referencing when he's talking specifically about Jackie Long, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Long was the one sitting beside Paul George that asked Paul George if I've ever played any professional sports. Jackie Long is also the person once Paul George said, hell no. I could sit up there and say, well, clearly y'all haven't done television, podcasting, radio, or whatever the case may be, at least not to the degree that I have. So what the hell do you have one for? But I won't go there because I like the fact that y'all have opinions and that I don't have to look around all over the damn place to find it. I like that. And I'm supportive of that. But Jackie Long, my brother, they describe you as a B-list actor. I didn't know this about you.
Hold on. Stephen A. Smith is going in, y'all. Stephen A. is saying everybody getting it today. Everybody getting that smoke today, and nobody is going to be removed from smoking.
And I want to state for the record, Jackie Long, I'm not disrespecting you.
He doing it again. He's doing it again. I called it the first time. He said, listen, I'm going to give you respect. This is not disrespect. This is my objective opinion for who it is that you are. This is my objective opinion of what it is that I think about you. This is what Stephen A. is doing.
I'm saying that you asked the question, did I ever play professional basketball? And then state that I have no business having an opinion about it. I'm going to bring up some of your credentials with a purpose, and I want you to listen. You're in Power Book 2. Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Oh, hold on. Yo, this is petty. This is petty for Stephen A. to do this, yo. But equal rights deserve equal lefts. If you feel the need to be able to get froggy, you can't be feeling some type of way when Stephen A. Smith decides that he wants to respond to you. Let's continue. He said you've been on Power Book 2, Real Husbands of Hollywood.
Movie Atlanta. Just to name a few. I'm wishing you nothing but the best, my brother.
No, you're not.
I hope that you become an A-lister. I hope you become a star. I hope you
No, you're
all your
not.
dreams
No,
come
you're
true.
not. This is petty.
Nothing but respect for you. We all got to start somewhere. Okay? But when you question a black man's resume, let me tell you what you've done. You've implied that I have no business talking about professional sports. Did folks walk around saying that about Howard Cosell when he talked about Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier and George
That's a
Foreman
fact.
and all those guys?
Howard Cosell was a legend.
Did they say it about Brian Gumbel when he was hosting?
Nope. They held Brian
NFL.
Gumbel to a high esteem.
Did they say it about Brent Musburger? Did they say it about Mike and the Mad Dog, who had the #1 radio show in the country for years?
That's facts.
Did they say it about all those sports center hosts, Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann and Stuart Scott, the late great Stuart Scott, God rest his soul, and John Saunders, the late great John Saunders? Did they say that about Bob Costas when it came to baseball? You see, Jackie Long, problem that I have with what you did
Why he keep calling him his old name?
is only the one thing you said, which was the question you asked Paul George. My brother, I'm 55.
Talk to him, Stephen.
Did you know that I started out my career covering calendar items and school lunch menus and birth listings? Did you know that I worked for free for a year while I was taking 18 credit semester hours at HBCU? Did you know that I started off covering Pop Warner football for a weekly newspaper? Did you know that I ultimately worked as an intern in Winston-Salem and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and the Greensboro News and Record? Did you know that I spent a year living off of tuna fish and Kool-Aid?
Talk to him.
Did you know that I ultimately started my career off at the New York Daily News as a high school sports writer, covering the Stephon Marburys and the Felipe Lopez's of the world, Kareem Reeds and other guys like that? Did you know that my first interview as an intern was given to me by Nate Tiny Archibald?
He
Did you
running
know
his
that when I was a
resume
high school
down.
reporter for the New York Daily News, Isaiah Thomas, the great Isaiah Thomas, the two-time champion in the Hall of Fame and one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, did you know that Isaiah Thomas stopped talking to the press just so he could walk over to me as a high school reporter and give me my first exclusive interview to a professional athlete?
Hey, let me keep Stephen A. name out of my mouth. Let me keep Stephen A.'s name out of my mouth. Listen, the way he running these credentials down, this how you check a motherfucker. Hey, man, you know who I am? Then you just start running your shit down. This is how you check a motherfucker. Go ahead. Do your thing, Stephen A.
Did you know that two giants in the history of basketball, Clarence Big House Gaines and John B. McClendon, who helped organize the game in the middle of the night at Duke University because blacks and whites weren't allowed to go up against each other? Did you know that they were my mentors? That they the ones that taught me the game of basketball? Did you know that same John B. McClendon invented the fast break? Did you know that he learned the game under the late creator, James Naismith? He was the one that used to be sitting in the stands, watching when we would practice. Did you know they sat me down because they knew that I wanted to do what I'm doing today, and they were coaching me?
Talk to him.
On how to be a conscientious observer of the sport. And they wanted me to be real and authentic and build my career while at the same time protecting people like you, to spearhead the way for people like you to follow down the road.
He said, you just a baby walking in my footsteps, nigga. You just a baby walking in my footsteps, nigga. Yo, talk your shit, bro.
Did you know that when I got to the Philadelphia Inquirer, I got promoted 9 times? Did you know that in 2003, I became the 21st African-American to be named a general sports columnist in American history? Do you know that? Do you know that my credentials, all of these sorry asses that are out here talking their smack, that are looking at me and wondering who the hell am I to be in this position and all of this other stuff, do you notice that they never, ever grab a microphone and a camera and invite y'all to watch while they put their resume up against mine? Do you notice they never do that? Because they'd expose themselves and they'd have to reveal they never accomplished what I've accomplished. I have people around me all the time who will validate everything that I've said as fact. Look it up. No, I didn't play basketball. I'm an elite journalist. I'm an elite commentator. I'm a host of the #1 sports morning show that's been #1 for 11 and a half years and counting. That's one of the reasons why yo ass decided to talk about me.
Said, check my resume, homie. He said, yo, I'm elite. I've been doing this shit and the numbers back me up for the last 11 years. Who you talking to, nigga?
We'll get some more clicks, ain't you? I know how this works. I'm one of the people that helped create it. So when you sit here and you say something like, yo, don't talk. Who is he to talk about basketball? Jackie Long, don't you realize you're hurting yourself? My brother, I'm here doing this so people like you could be doing this years later. I don't have forever. I got some time, but I ain't 25. I ain't 35. It's people like you and others on the come up that's going to have a microphone, they're going to have a camera, they're going to have a studio, they're going to be in a position to do all of these things. What if somebody came and said, you have no business talking sports?
That's a fact. That's a fact. What if somebody looked at Jackie Long and said, yo, you an actor. What the hell you got to do with talking about sports? What if somebody took it a little bit further and they said, yo, fam, you an actor. What makes you think you can get into content creation or you can get into podcasting? In the same way that they're trying to leverage the criticism about Stephen A. Smith, in which he can back up why it is that he's an elite journalist, is the same way that he can then question the person that was kikiing and haw-hawing on Podcast P's podcast and say, what the fuck you even doing in my arena in the first place? What's the difference? What's the difference? What validates you to be able to stand here and do the thing that you chasing me for, and what gives you the credentials to even be able to talk to me in the first place? It's a valid question.
when I just gave you my credentials. You ain't stupid. You a smart brother. You know my resume. And by the way, you're an actor. But you talk sports. How the hell do you get to sit next to Paul George and talk sports, but I can't talk sports?
That's a fact.
Sports, Paul George got his podcast, I got mine. Paul George don't have a #1 television show. Paul George ain't been #1 for 11 and a half years. For all I know, Paul George, how the hell you know what I said about Kawhi? Because you were watching First Take, wasn't you? Come on, bro. Paul George, you feel the way you feel about your teammate. You're wrong. I'm right. It's cool. No biggie. Still got love for you. You my man. And by the way, Jackie, I got love for you. I'll come on your show. I'll come on y'all show. All you had to do is call. I wouldn't have said no to Paul George. I didn't know you, Jackie, until a couple of days ago. I didn't even.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. He said, I didn't even know who you was until a couple days ago. He said, I'll come because Paul is the man. I like Paul. We cool. I didn't even know. Hoppo, who is this nigga over here? Hey, somebody go and find that dude over there that's had something to say about me and pull him up. He said, oh, you was the person that was talking shit to Nunu. You was the person that was standing next to T.I. and trying to hold Nunu accountable. You was the person that that was playing the side role in the housewives or the house husbands of Hollywood. This nigga said, I didn't even know who you was until a couple days ago. Hoppo, who is this nigga over here that feel as though they can talk to me? I'm all for this shit. I love it. I'm all for it when it comes to content creation. I think that people should be able to talk their shit back to the person that had something to say about them in the first place. I ain't got no problem with this.
Even know that was you when I saw you talking to the brothers at Power. Mike and Gianni. I didn't even know that was you. Somebody just told me, you just finished talking to her. I had no idea what you said. And I don't even mind. Up until you said, I have no business talking about basketball.
Oh.
My brother, if I can't talk basketball, when would you ever be allowed to talk basketball? When would most of the people doing this be able to talk basketball or sports for that matter? Google me. Look it up. My resume speaks for itself. Hell no, I couldn't shine Paul George's shoes or any other player for that matter. No problem. But I was here before Paul George ever stepped foot on an NBA court. And I'm going to be here when he's gone.
I think we should end that right there. I think we should just end it right there. I don't think there's nothing else to say. I think he's absolutely right. He said, put some respect on my name. Put some respect on. You know what's so funny? I see a lot of these dudes that's coming up with these podcasts and they crashing the fuck out too. It's a lot of entertainers that start a podcast. It's a lot of rappers. It's a lot of former athletes and shit. And they crashing out. They don't know how to be able to maintain. They don't know how to continue to have a conversation. They don't understand the business side. They think that they can get a couple microphones and then they could do what it is that Stephen A do. And Stephen A is saying, fuck y'all. Okay, you in my arena. Now, since y'all want to be able to talk, you might be able to do a crossover, but you can't pick up this microphone and out-stunt me. I'm all for it. I love it. I think that it's absolutely dope. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to get continuing with the show. So we got a lot to cover. Bam Bam Lynch says, Steven showing how he going to get the numbers up. And I think it's smart. I think it's super smart for him to play it the way that he playing. Pro Brill says, thank you for the knowledge. Shout out to Pro Brill. I appreciate you for the fireball. Jason Falarin says, do you profit any from your Pistons floor seats? Shh. No, that is a business expense. That's a business expense. I'm going to need you to go. I can't give you no. I'll give you that one. I don't know if I can give you that one because I got to give you that other one. No, that's a bit. Listen, that is a business expense. I don't profit from my floor seats, sir. Thank you very much for the. I'm just messing with you. Thank you very much for the question. Alex Tyson is in the building with the 10 ball. Says black athletes have had special treatment since childhood from parents, teachers, and coaches. This is why they cry the smallest bit of criticism because they're not used to someone keeping it real. I agree 100%. Messi, says Stephen A just demonstrated why I love numbers. When you deep dive into the numerical aspects of anything you do in life, you can either be humbled or exalted. Numbers are the language of God. Ooh, that just turned me on. That just turned me on the way that you communicated that. Shout out to Messi. K. Ken says, in 2018, I paid $850 for my two daughters so they can see KD and Steph Curry. Not only they didn't play, they didn't even show up to the game. Oh, my girls were heartbroken. It happens all the time. And then they be looking at you funny like, who you talking to? Black Guy Bigot says, Stephen A. Smith reminds me of Ving Rhames in the movie Baby Boy. You want some eggs? Shout out to y'all. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Let's continue on with the show. Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, tell him. Soulja Boy, tell him. Soulja Boy, tell him. Soulja Boy is in a bit of a pickle. He's in a bit of a kerfuffle. Now, I want to break this down a little bit differently for y'all, right? Because I don't think that we really understand how money works when it comes to celebrities. One thing that I was saying on Fight Club the other night is I was having a conversation with people and I was trying to help them to understand how it's important for y'all to really, really understand that you got to be a lot more careful with how it is that you spend your money when you get money. A lot of people going to be just getting into money. Some people is not going to be able to understand how money works. However, it's important for us to understand it a little bit differently, especially considering that every single year, every single day, you're going to see a demonstration from people of how to fumble the bag. Now, with Soulja Boy specifically, and let me first start this story off by saying it like this. And make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon tomorrow, not today. The beginning of the month is the best time to join the Patreon. So join the Patreon tomorrow. And then make sure you get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. I want to show y'all a couple things. Whenever I start to talk about money or whatever like that with people, a lot of times the first thing that they say is, well, such and such is worth this or such and such is worth that. And I say, how do you know? How do you know what somebody is worth, right? Because we're going to break this down from a couple different angles. And so the first thing that I'm trying to understand is how do you know what somebody is worth? Okay, well, let's break it down, all right? Soulja Boy, for all intents and purposes, and I'm going to break down the case and then I'm going to go into it. According to Celebrity Net Worth, whereas a lot of y'all get y'all information from the internet. A lot of y'all getting y'all information from the internet. Celebrity Net Worth, according to a June 2023 last update, who the fuck knows how they getting these numbers? I don't even think Forbes can truly substantiate how much somebody is worth, right? Soulja Boy, tell him, yo, is worth $10 million according to Celebrity Net Worth. Category, richest celebrity rappers, net worth $10 million. He's 33 years old. Now, that's a problem because Soulja Boy look every bit of 44. All of that fucking drugs and living that fast lifestyle and so on and so forth, right? From Chicago. And they say that Soulja Boy is worth the equivalent of $10 million according to Celebrity Net Worth. Now, how do we know this? We don't. Nobody knows anybody's true net worth. You can guesstimate, especially if somebody is a CEO or something like that, but nobody knows what somebody's net worth is. But let's break down the story. So Soulja Boy is in court going back and forth with an ex-girlfriend allegedly, right? Soulja Boy's net worth has been declared as negative by a judge during a recent court hearing related to the assault incident involving his ex-girlfriend, Kayla Myers. Now, the first thing that we have a problem with is the fact that this motherfucker is going to court with an ex-girlfriend. He's going to court with an ex-girlfriend. That's the first thing that's a problem. The rapper was ordered to pay basically $500,000, $472,000 to Myers, and the judge has now ordered him to adjust his expenses accordingly. Meanwhile, the hearing has revealed that the singer is broke. Do y'all think that Soulja Boy is broke? Just a question. Do you guys think that Soulja Boy, tell him, whoa. Do y'all think that Soulja Boy, meanwhile, is broke, according to what the judge says? Let's continue. Triple XL reported that Soulja's motion to have the $472,000 judgment thrown out in a civil case had been rejected by the court. The reason was that he already owed a debt worth $1 million in taxes. Although the judge has taken a side of Soulja, he claims he can still earn the required amount and make the payment he owes to Myers. This is what the judge is saying. Judge is saying, listen, I know your net worth is negative, but I want you to lower your lifestyle in order to make sure that you pay your ex-girlfriend. Here's his net worth according to what he reported in court. Judge says that he got a negative net worth after being forced to pay $472,000 in a judgment to his ex-girlfriend. Here's my first question. Before we even start counting other people's pockets, why the fuck would you have to pay an ex-girlfriend $472,000? Now, it's normal for most people to make a lot of money to owe the IRS, even in the way in which they file. They don't file the same way that you guys file taxes, right? Usually most people that are in the entertainment industry, that own their own businesses, they write a check to the IRS. They don't go and file for their W-2 and then get a return from the IRS. Taxes is a sticky subject. And it is normal for people to owe the IRS money and then to be able to pay those taxes, but you just want to try to avoid as many penalties as possible. Most people that I know don't even file until September. They got some work to do, right? But the judge is saying that Soulja Boy admitted in court that his assets are 3 cars worth $600,000, $18,000 in jewelry, fucking jewelry, and $50,000 in stock. That's what they can find on paper. That is what he's filing and claiming on paper. Okay? The judge suggested a few things to Soulja to make things easier for the rapper, and he was told to move somewhere where he can pay less rent compared to the $25,000 a month that he's paying right now in Los Angeles. The defendant must be earning money from somewhere sufficient to pay for the rent and whatever other monthly expenses he has. In other words, the defendant is paying $300,000 a year in rent alone, and it stands to reason he must have some other living expenses. The first thing that we have to have a question, or that we got to have a question about, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm willing to pay a lot of money for a lot of things, but my assets has to be the thing that pays for it, not me going out there and trading in my time for money. Soulja Boy clearly is not broke. If you can afford to pay $25,000 a month in rent, it stands to reason. Now, we're not talking about whether or not you're managing your money effectively. We're talking about whether or not you're broke. If you can pay $25,000 a month in rent, and that has nothing to do with your other living expenses, don't have nothing to do with insurance, car notes, healthcare coverage, lifestyle, flying back and forth, whatever it is that you do to make money, If you can stand to pay $25,000 a month in rent, I don't give a fuck what the judge says. You're not broke. And it's a lot of people that move a lot of stuff around. I don't even have nothing in my own name. I don't have anything in my name. He living in California. Y'all know y'all like to be out there in Calabasas. Y'all paying for the location instead of paying for the crib. $300,000 a month. A year in rent. They clarified that Soulja does not have any other debt, so he doesn't have no debt. Soulja himself stated that he is currently the owner of 3 cars along with $18,000 worth of jewelry and stock worth $50,000. So let's back up for a minute. All right. How do you think that he's playing this? Is the residence that he's in on a regular basis, is that a business expense because that's where he does the majority of his business? Right? Is he using that as an office? We don't know. Is the businesses, and again, let me give y'all one of the finesses that a lot of these celebrities, business owners, and stuff like that do. I'm gonna give y'all one of the finesses that they do. All right. What they do is, let's say, for example, I'll give you one of the finesses that they do. And I'm not advocating that you do this. I'm just trying to give you the game. Let's say, for example, you are an entertainer or you have your own business or whatever like that, right? And let's say that you've created a corporation in which that's the thing that generally generates most of the money. So it operates separately from you as an individual. I need y'all to pay attention from a C student's perspective really quickly before we start to really deep dive into this. It's its own entity. It basically has its own tax ID, or for all intents and purposes, let's just say figuratively, its own social security number. So that corporation that you own, and I'm not saying that this is what he's doing, but I'm kind of breaking it down from a C student's perspective to help y'all to understand it from a business perspective. Let's say, for example, you're a person that make a whole lot of money. Your businesses generate a lot of money. You're a celebrity and all of this other type of stuff. And now your baby mama is coming to you for child support, and she want to do it based off of your income. Let's just do an example like that, right? But you have a corporation, and your corporation is what generates most of the revenue. And then you, as an individual, draw a salary from that corporation. Well, that means that if they can only go by what it is that you're getting paid from the corporation, that's completely separate from what that corporation is generating in revenue. So let's say, for example, I pay myself $79,000 a year because that puts me in a 12% tax bracket instead of the 22% tax bracket. If I go over $82,000 a year, right? I pay myself through my corporation based off of my own personal living expenses, $79,000 a year. I'm in a 12% tax bracket. Plus I need to take out my expenses. The only thing that they can really go off of as far as evaluating what my salary is and what I should be paying in child support is the money that I'm paying myself through my corporation. Everything else that is expensed from that, right? It's just like if you go on your job. If your job sends you over to a conference and they pay for that conference, that then is expensed, and that's written off as a business expense in order to continue to send you whatever it is that you need to do from a business perspective, right? The travel, the location, the stipend, all of that stuff, right? The hotel rooms, the business, the offices that y'all in, all of that stuff is a business expense. And again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just trying to give you the game and help you to understand how a lot of other people do it. All of that stuff is actually being charged to the corporation that you may be a part of, right? But then you as an employee, the same way that you work for your regular job is the same way that you work for that corporation, is just drawing a salary. So then when they start to come to you and they say, and you go to court and you say, well, fuck, I'm broke. I can't afford this. That's all they have to go off of legally in order to substantiate what it is that you generate in revenue. So a lot of times, remember when 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy? Actually, his companies filed for bankruptcy. Technically, allegedly, he didn't file for bankruptcy, right? It didn't mean that he was broke. It meant that he was making a move in order to make sure that he reduced his financial obligation, and he was looking at things a little bit smarter, right? When all of y'all go and y'all make y'all money every single day, and you go to work and you pay your taxes and it automatically come out of your taxes and your W-2s and you file at the end of the year, you get a refund, you basically gave the IRS an interest-free loan. You gave the IRS an interest-free loan. So then when you come back and then you have to declare a certain way or a certain way in which you operate, it's completely different than everybody else that draws a regular salary. All right? But here's the problem that I have with Soulja Boy. Matter of fact, here, let me just share it with you, and then you can give me your opinion. Because just because you may be smart in one thing, and I'm not sure how he's managing his money or not. I'm just using this as an example. Just because you may be smart in one thing don't necessarily mean that you operating in a way that you're supposed to be operating the other way. Right after that, just because people on the internet was talking shit about him, he allegedly goes out and buys himself a new Lamborghini, and then he got the Maybach in the back for his 33rd birthday. He already paying $25,000 a month for the place that he stay in rent in Los Angeles in order to stay in Los Angeles. And then he goes out when he knows that it's a judgment against him to taunt the people and the judge, and goes on Instagram and highlights how he bought himself a new car for his 33rd birthday. Here, let me share it with you.
Soulja Boy.
Big Draco. Yeah, sir, skis. They know what's going on, man. Soulja World 3, man. Soulja World 3, man. We popping out. Birthday party today, man. We popping out, man. Soulja World 3, man. We going crazy, man. We going crazy, man. Sheesh. What's popping, y'all? Oh, yeah, they know what the f going on. Soulja World 3 out right now, man. Big Draco, man. My birthday, man. They know how we pop out. They know how we pop out. Big Draco! Motherfucking birthday, man. Hey, man. It's a blessing. I know. They want me to be in jail, man. It can't happen like that. I'm going on tour August 2nd. I'm coming back September 27th. 100K a show. You do the math. Over 30 shows, over 40 shows. We're not worried about nothing.
Be sure to like.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I like to call, I'm going to be reading his super chat shortly. This is, ladies and gentlemen, what I like to call nigga shit. Real talk. He's so busy trying to impress other people. He cares so much about what the people think that he's willing to throw himself under the bus in order to try to please other people that don't give a fuck about him. Do you think that these people on the internet, the people that watch this video, gives a flying fuck, or they gonna determine whether or not they gonna keep on following you on Instagram based off of whether or not you bought a new Lamborghini? It don't matter if it's leased or not. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's rented. You're spending money to please people, and I believe he bought it. He's spending money to please people that don't give a fuck about it. Tanisha said this is damage control. He concerned about what we think. What damage control? He the only person that got to live with himself. He's the only person. Listen, if I buy a car, I'm buying it for me. I'm not buying it in order to be able to make y'all feel good about it. That's my dream. That ain't your dream. That's my dream. Why is he talking about what it is that he's getting on? I bet you he is getting 100,000. I bet you it is. I bet you he is getting 100,000 a show. So let's say he make $3 to $4 million. 30, 40 shows. Let's say he make $3 to $4 million. Why is that going to help you is that going to help you with your tour or some shit like that? The goal is to be just entertaining enough, but not let it affect what it is that you making, the decisions that you're making on a financial perspective. At 33 years old, and this man has been doing it for a long time, when you've been in the industry long enough, you're supposed to move a little bit differently. You're supposed to start making different decisions. You're supposed to be a little wiser in the ways that you move. If you in a lawsuit and the chick is trying to take $500,000 from you, even if you go and buy yourself something for your birthday, why is you throwing it inside of the judge and the girl's face? Because all that does is incentivize them to come after you harder. Ain't nothing wrong with getting money and spending money, but it's very much something wrong in order to do it, in order to try to satisfy people that don't give a fuck about you. It's dumb as fuck. I wish that we would grow up. I wish that we would start doing things differently. I wish that we would look at things differently. But who am I? I don't know shit about it, right? I don't know nothing about it. I'm broke out here. That's my new motto. My new motto is, let me take this shit off. Let me get this off me. I'm broke. All I got on my wrist is a rubber band. I don't know nothing about it. I don't know what y'all talking about. Don't ask me for nothing. I ain't got it. I'm living off of fucking super chats. I ain't got nothing. Ain't nothing in my bank account. Don't even, my personal bank account, I'm stuck. It's fucking tight out here. I'm about to start me a GoFundMe in order for me to even be able to survive out here in these streets. But on the flip side, I think that this is a very good conversation to have, because Gilbert Arenas recently dropped a video on the Gil's Arena podcast. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas. I think that he's doing some phenomenal things out here. There's some really good content creators, and I think that Gilbert Arenas is one of them. Gilbert Arenas recently dropped a video or a clip where him, Brandon Jennings, and all of them, they were talking about specifically how they spent their first NBA checks. And I think that this is absolutely a good video for us to reference, because it allows for us to look back in hindsight at different people's decisions so that we can make a better decision ourselves. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly.
What did you do with your first NBA check?
My first one, I gave it back to the agent.
Damn.
To your agent?
Yes,
Why?
because I spent all my money before I got drafted.
Oh,
A lot of y'all think that y'all can't relate to this because they NBA players and they got a lot of money and all of this other type of stuff. But the reality is that you can relate to it. A lot of y'all don't think that y'all can relate to it, but I'm telling you that you can relate to it. I got a video that's dropping later on today on the platform where I break down some numbers when it comes to y'all retirement and stuff like that, right? And what y'all don't understand is that maybe not Gilbert Arenas, because Gilbert Arenas made an egregious amount of fucking money in the NBA, but a lot of people make a lot of money in their lifetime, right? Including basketball players, including you, including business owners, including content creators. Everybody make a lot of money, or they have a window of opportunity where they can generate a lot of revenue. And now we're not talking about people that have the opportunity and then they never actually cross that threshold, or they don't do what it takes in order to be successful. We talking about people that actually have a level of success. They did what it is that they need to do. And now the other aspect of it that nobody tells you about, because they just tell you be a six-figure dude, they don't tell you what it takes in order to be able to maintain that lifestyle or to build wealth with it. It's easy to be able to make a lot of money. That's just work ethic. That's using the knowledge that you have in order to leverage the information to make more money. It's more difficult to be able to manage it effectively for it to last your lifetime, right? And a lot of y'all getting a lot of money in y'all life. There's some people in this chat right now that I know for a fact are making over $300,000 and $400,000 a year. It's people in this chat right now that make over $300,000-$400,000 a year, and you blowing it. You're blowing it. It's young people. You feel like just because you got out of college, right? Let me go back a step. It's a lot of y'all young dudes up in here and these young girls, and this is why we say women are the most enrolled but the most in debt. You mortgaging your future by taking out a bunch of student fucking loans, thinking that you're going to pay it back over the next 10 years because that's how long that they have you paying back student loans. Usually it's 10 years. And you mortgage your future instead of building the wealth that comes along with it. The earliest time for you to actually start is now, so that it snowballs and then it actually grows to the point to where you can sustain a lifestyle instead of having to depend on the federal government to sustain you.
Dumbass.
Yeah. I bought my chain, I bought the fake chain, then I bought my Escalade, had the 5 TVs, boom, 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 right? Yeah. So when my first NBA check came, yeah, that ain't yours no more. That's gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This dude.
Wow.
This
Man, how about
dude.
you say you remember what you did with your first? How does it come? Direct deposit, paper, you got to take it to the bank? Like, always, like.
It was a direct deposit to his
So you didn't even see it?
Nah.
You couldn't frame it?
Nah.
I mean, to me, mine is different because I came out of high school and I was pro in Italy. So I bought my mom a house.
With the first Italy check?
Yeah.
Let me say this. Y'all need to stop buying y'all mama a house. Most of the time when y'all buy y'all mama a house, and I know it's a lot of people that got a lot of money, including celebrities and stuff that be watching it. Y'all be hitting me up in my DM. Shout out to all of y'all. Y'all got to stop buying mama a house and a car. A lot of y'all feel like y'all owe y'all success to the people around. I ain't just talking about mama. I'm talking about everybody around you. You feel like you owe your success to your homeboys. You want to go bust down a bag with your friends. You want to buy mama a house and daddy a car and all of this shit. They was doing just fine before you got that check. All you're going to do is build up resentment towards you, and you're going to build up a codependency on you, because then people are going to feel like you're going to have to take care of them for the rest of your life. We just did a video on Friday about how Zion Williamson's parents is eating off of him, and now he getting sued for $1.8 million. Stop buying mama a house and first build up yourself. Build up yourself first. Stop buying. Shout out to you, Chip. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly. Stop going out and buying mama a house and build up yourself and your assets first. A lot of y'all, I made that mistake. I don't even talk about this part of the story. I remember when I first started making a whole lot of money, right? And in my mind, a whole lot of money is like a little bit more than $150,000 a year, right? My first year that I started making like over $150,000 a year, you know what I did? I was dumb as fuck. I went and got, I made my parents authorized users. I gave my parents a card. I gave both of my parents, I gave my mother a card. I gave my father a card. I gave my brother a card. Well, actually, I gave two of my brothers a card. Because I was thinking to myself, yo, this is just the tip of the iceberg. That shit, we had some problems. I was like, okay, listen. I know I gave y'all a card and I said that y'all need to get whatever it is that y'all need to get when y'all need it. But I'm going to need to, I wasn't as forthcoming as I am now as far as just getting straight to it and saying, y'all need to cut that shit out. I was trying to, be cordial and shit. And I was like, that's so dumb. I was like, hey, y'all need to just focus on the stuff that you really need. Don't focus a whole lot on the stuff that you buying. This is not a want situation. This is a if you get into a pickle type of situation. Regretted the fuck out of that. I regretted it. I regretted the hell out of that. I regretted making people authorized users on my card, on my Amex. I had the Amex Platinum, and I had the Amex Reserve, the Delta Reserve. Dumb as fuck. I regretted that shit too. But I learned, and y'all don't have to go through what it is that I went through in order to try to understand how it is that you can move a little bit differently.
Was it like a lump sum, not to be in your business pocket watching, but like how do they do that over? You get like some.
Well, I mean, I got money from the Italian team and then Under Armour.
Okay.
So that's how I was able to be like 1.5 or 1.2 at that time. But I made sure my mom got a house. Was it a good thing?
Wait, what?
And look, the woman don't understand. Because the woman don't understand. She like, what? No, yeah. You don't necessarily have to get it. You was doing just fine. Let's build this wealth. Let's make sure that we're going to be taken care of for the rest of our lives, and then you're going to be the beneficiary of my greatness.
These are, because like your first thing, like as a youngin' when you get in the league is like, yo, buy my mom a house, like buy. Yep. But I feel like I should have bought myself something first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like, cause I'm the one that's, making this decision. And, like.
You sound like he don't even like his mama no more.
My mom or like, my family, or I don't appreciate it. It's just that, like, I think we get caught up in like, okay, when I get this first check, I gotta give it back to my family, when it's like, well, you can get hurt next year. And then, like, so it's like, like if I could have reversed it, I would have bought myself something.
Wait, does she still have the house?
No.
But that's probably why you feel like that. Maybe.
Yeah, that.
Possibly.
And then, like, I made people comfortable early in my life. Like, at
They probably
at
felt like
18,
I just said this
19,
shit.
so I'm 18,
I literally
19,
just said that.
I don't have a father figure. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. And, your first thing is like, I got to do for my mom. Like, my mom is the reason why
That's
I'm here. And it's
stupid.
like, well, yeah, but also, like, I'm the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just for youngins, it's just like, maybe you should buy yourself something first to make sure that you're stable, because you don't know what's going to happen in your career.
never know.
Luckily,
So what he's basically saying is start to invest and to get assets first. When he says buy yourself something, he's not talking about change. He said make sure you buy yourself something so that you can make sure that you're stable in your career. Look at everything from a business perspective and stop letting people mooch off of you and leech off of you, because they should understand.
I was able to play 9 years and 11 years and
Buy yourself
professionally.
the house and let her lease it from you at a discounted rate.
Or just buy the house and then lease something for your mom first until that money is able to build up. Like, but I think you should take care of yourself first.
My shit is a little bit different. Like I tell y'all motherfuckers, I'm different, man. I got robbed my first check. Peggy Williams.
I heard about that.
Peggy Williams.
No, I watched a documentary on Dennis Rodman, and I saw
it was she finagled me to become my financial advisor. I gave a black woman an opportunity because I wanted to.
Why black women always acting like they not getting a shot? Y'all gonna get enough of going investing with people just based off of just purely based off of the fact that they black, or that they a woman, or that they live in both. They a black woman. Y'all gonna get enough of that shit. That's crazy. He said he got robbed out of his first check because he decided to give a black woman a shot. He didn't say it was based off of her credentials. It ain't based off of her clients. It ain't based off of none of that. You gave a fucking woman your whole check? No. You gave her a check off of the fact that she got a pussy and she black? That's wild. That is wild, fam. This is about to hurt my heart. I'm scared to even see this part.
Do the whole empowerment shit,
for sure.
And we believed in that as a family. And the story is kind of crazy because how I found out about it was weird. I was getting Ricky Hayes by KG, bringing the donuts in, and one day I couldn't bring the donuts in because my account was at zero.
Dog, you an NBA player and you can't even go and get donuts? You an NBA player and you can't even go and get donuts for the team? Sheesh.
And this is before I had got paid. So I went in the locker room like, ticket. He's like, what the fuck the donuts at, motherfucker? I was like, man, I ain't got no bread. He's like, what the fuck you mean you an NBA player? You ain't got no goddamn bread. I ain't got no bread. So he was pissed at me. Whole practice wouldn't talk to me, none of this shit. And I told him, I'm like, man, I got robbed, bro. My financial advisor took all my bread. She set up a trust. She did all this shit with our bread, came in, wooed me and my mom and all us, believed in all this family shit. And it was about $350, something like that, $350, $400.
Shit.
And I remember just getting a call, like, yeah, man, Peggy got us. My agent, Jeff Swartz, told us, like, man, God, like, what the fuck you mean she got us? She got us.
Now, for those who haven't seen the doc, I mean...
Yeah, the doc.
Hold on, wait. Let me just say this before we continue, because this is some wild shit. Never, ever. Let me tell y'all something. As a person that has a platform in content creation, and a lot of y'all are tapped in with me, and I fly city to city to meet with y'all, a lot of y'all always say this a lot. Y'all say it in super chats. Y'all say it in the chat. Y'all say it in emails. Y'all reach out to me. You say it on the phone when we got coaching sessions, and you say, Anton, I want to invest with you. I want to give you my money. I want you to manage my shit. And you know what I say every single time? Or y'all even say, hey, you've poured so much into me. You helped me make some money or whatever like that. What is it that I can do for you? The thing that I say every single time, the best thing you can do for me is to do the best thing for yourself. It's to reinvest in yourself. It's to learn how to manage your shit. I'm not interested in handling none of y'all money. Nobody in the fucking world can ever say that I took one dime for them outside of maybe offering a service like, okay, you pay for a coaching call or some shit like that. But nobody could ever say I sold them nothing, that I took one dime from them, that I've ever managed their money. The thing that I want you to do, and the reason why we have these conversations, is to A, change your mindset, B, get you to look at money differently and use relevant information in order to bring that forth, and then C, teach you how to manage your own money. Listen. If you've never heard me say anything before, I want you to understand this. You can manage your own money. You don't need somebody else to do it for you. Now, if you want to have somebody, shout out to JC, I'm gonna be reading that super chat shortly. If you want to have somebody to help you or help you overlook your stuff, right? If you want a bookkeeper, you still need to understand what the fuck they doing. You need to be just as business savvy and have the understanding that they have it. They're just an extension of you. They're not supposed to be your replacement. If you don't think that I look over all my shit and I know exactly where it's going and I'm paying attention to my bookkeeping and I know what the fuck is happening out here in these streets, you wild. A lot of y'all thought that y'all didn't need math when y'all went to school. You do. A lot of y'all said that I'm not going to use this in real life. You do. And what I'm telling you is that you need to learn how to do it for yourself. And then if you get other people to help you along the way in order to manage it more effectively, that's cool, but it does not absolve you from needing to understand how you need to manage your own. I want to teach you what I look for personally when I'm looking to invest in a company or I'm looking to invest in a stock. I'm not interested in handling your resources. You should be able to do that on your own as an adult, right? My goal is to give you a different mindset and outlook towards what it is that you look at money like. I'm going to give you some life hacks. I'm going to give you some shit like that. But if anybody is trying to take your money and not give you a service as a result of it, be very, 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 very careful. Very careful. If anybody is looking to take your money and you're not giving them a plate of food to go back with it, so they buying a service from you, or you're not getting a fucking coaching call, or you're not getting a product. If somebody is asking you, and that's another thing, a lot of y'all getting reached out to on Instagram and TikTok and shit like that, and they saying, yo, I'm gonna do Anton's alternate page. I don't do business in TikTok and shit like that. If it's not my name, the number one, Anton Daniels, and if it's not linked down in the description, it is not me. I will never reach out to you. I don't do Forex. I don't do crypto. I don't have a fund that I manage for anybody. I do not sell courses. I don't have anything for you except for this dick. No, I'm just playing. I don't have anything for you. If you want to tap into the group, a community of people in which I fly city to city to meet with y'all and then drop the exclusive interviews uncensored, and then also give you my life hacks of how it is that I manage and then show you the receipts that go along with my life, then you can tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. If you want to support the show by going to the sponsor, Teach Hanley, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is over in the description, right? If you want to be able to kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. I invest in my people, not take away from it. But my point that I'm making is that you guys can do this yourself. You can do your own bookkeeping. I break down exactly what software that I use so that you guys can do it also, right? If you want to get a tax strategist, that's cool too. If you want to go and reach out to a certified financial planner and advisor, that's awesome. You can go ahead and pay for their service. But that does not absolve you from being an adult and being able to manage it yourself and look at it yourself. You still have to manage your own resources. That is your duty as an adult.
Grade A, like the grade A, the Ricky Williams shit.
But
she's still alive?
Yes,
no, she in jail,
she's
but
in prison.
They didn't have me in the dock because I refused to be a part of it.
They only have pictures of him and
because
like,
they weren't going to pay me. They were going to get paid off
the
dock, but they weren't going to pay me for it. So I was just like, it's cool. But there's this episode on American Greed, talk about it. I was on that shit. But I mean, my first check, I didn't get to do shit with my first check. You know what I'm saying? I was in debt my first check. So Ticket gave me a little loan to keep me afloat for a little bit. And that's why I always mention him as my vet, as, you know, somebody who gave me a lot of grace. But when it come down to that first check and being finagled for money and being picked 14th, supposed to be picked higher, and David Stern, I had to tap that nigga on his shoulder. He wasn't paying attention, made the first mistake he ever made in the draft in 20 years.
What did you
Like,
do?
my story goes beyond, you know.
With the,
Yeah, what
real
did you
quick.
No, I got picked 14th, and David Stern made a mistake and didn't shake my hand when I came on stage.
Well, what do you mean?
Yo, that's wild. Listen. The point of this, and the reason why I wanted to even review this, which is very insightful. Let me see if there's some more I need to
Shake your
share.
hand.
He was rising to the fucking top, so niggas can't take this shit off my head.
All right, so you went through all that, right? All right, so what is your perspective now on life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, like, you know, you caught a couple L's. We all catch some L's, right?
We all have.
All right? So, like, what is your perspective now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you view life now and where you're at now in life?
It's all about mentorship and giving back. You know, with the wisdom and knowledge that I have, to have it all, to lose it all, to be able to say, damn, I know the mistakes I made and the people I learned from, going up, seeing the shit that's happening, and be able to say, well, if I'm not an example of what it is to lose, what it is to survive, right? I can be around motherfuckers like Gil, who's, you know, always been a beacon of, like, respect, like niggas that we look up to, the niggas like him. Yeah. And for me to be sitting on the couch next to niggas like y'all who's done what y'all have done. Yeah. But for me to survive, I've always wanted to just be the example, like, yo, you can still wear a crown. You can still have confidence. And you can still be a survivor. You ain't gotta be at the top of the top of the top, man. You can
Nah, I want to be at the top of the top of the top. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to be at the top of the top of the. I don't want to survive. And I feel him, and I understand what he went through, and I support that and all of that stuff. I'm not interested in just surviving. I want to thrive. I want to be at the top. I want to be the greatest ever. I do. I want to be the greatest ever. I'm not looking to just survive. I want to thrive.
Still be the nigga that can walk in a room full of motherfuckers with billions of dollars, and they look at you like,
yeah, make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, like what?
Respectfully, McCants, you're not walking in a room with a bunch of dudes that got billions of dollars and you're making them uncomfortable. Respectfully, you're not walking in the room with dudes that got billions of dollars and you think that you're making them uncomfortable. They may play that role in order to get you to do whatever it is that they need you to do, or to make you feel comfortable, because their job is to sell you and your job is to be able to do whatever. You're not making a bunch of billionaires in a room uncomfortable because you survived and that you're wearing a crown. Respectfully. And I understand it. He should have never got robbed. I don't believe in taking nobody else's money and all of that shit. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all are not standing up in a room full of billionaires and making them niggas uncomfortable. They're going to be looking at you like, oh yeah, you're the tough guy. No. You're the poorest in the room, and we know it, but you offer a service that we probably can compensate you for, that we can make more money off of, and so we're going to entertain this bullshit. Stop it. Just stop, bro. Realistically, let's stop. We need to stop gassing ourselves up. I understand that we supposed to have confidence, but we also need to take a back seat and start to realize who we really are. Yeah, that's Rashad McCants.
Are you shining? Are you doing? I'm like, you would never know, my nigga, because I never lost that shine. I never lost that glow. And I want to tell those youngins, like, it doesn't matter failure or not being accepted or being picked on or bullied. You still got to strut.
So do you want more or like so I heard you like
these dudes is crazy.
When Gil was talking about like the money situation, right? Like losing all the money, and you were saying like you don't need all this money and this and that, boom, boom, boom. Like
I do. I need all the money.
Like you do get 10 million, whatever. Like, would you want more, or are you content with life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause me, I feel like you always want more. Right? And I always want more. I don't feel like there's no limit. I feel like whatever God is showing me, that means he's making me to the best ability that I can be, right?
Facts.
So, like, if is a certain amount of money or anything success will make you content and feel like, all right, I'm cool and I don't have to do much, or will you want more?
That's a good question, because I've learned to have and appreciate the abundance that I've grown without things, to not have to depend on money to be the thing that makes me feel like I'm more.
Listen, this some bullshit. This some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Listen, ain't nobody just be doing shit just to be doing it. I want the whole shebang. I want the money. I want the opportunities. I want everything. I ain't the type of person that's gonna sit here and say, yeah, man, I appreciate all the things I've been through, and I don't need no money in order to be able to substantiate who I am. No, I need all of that shit. I need the dollars. I need the money. I need the bag. I need whatever, the dinero, whatever you want to call it. I want my money. You can keep your fucking respect. Just pay me in cash, my nigga. Don't pay me in respect. Pay me in wires. A lot of y'all be having coaching calls scheduled. I'm not the person that handle it. Sometimes I be seeing little dots disappear from my calendar. I'll be like, hey, Rita, I thought I had a call at that time. Rita be like, oh, they didn't pay on time. They paid at the last minute, so they gonna have to have their call moved to a different time. We gonna work with them to make sure that they get their shit. Listen, I love you. I honest to God love you. I think that you are the sweetest, awesome, most dope person in the world. But trust and believe that if I don't get my dinero, you won't get no colero. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Listen, we cool. I'm gonna give you dap. But you taking up a moment of my time. I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Free? What the fuck is free? Free costs me money. Niggas be like, Ton, I just want to be cool with you. Let me get a call. I'll be like, all right, cool. Talk to my motherfucking assistant, my nigga. Niggas be calling me from high school like, hey, man, come on, let's hang out. I'll be like, how long we gonna be gone? Oh, it's probably going to take us like 2 hours. I'll be like, yeah, you're going to have to talk to my assistant about that. See, I'm not going to be the bad guy. Honest to God, I'm not going to be the bad. I'm not going to be the person that break it to you and tell you it costs. Only thing I'm doing for free dinero is I'm flying to the cities to go and kick it with my Patreon members, city to city. Niggas be like, yo, man, we knew each other from high school. Let's hang out. Let me get your number. I'll be like, you need to email me. I'll be like, hey, listen. I don't really be doing the numbers. Yo, I only respond to emails. Y'all be spending motherfuckers like a motherfucker. And it's the truth. Hey, man, let me get your number. I ain't seen you in 20 years. I'll be thinking to myself, it's a reason for that, my nigga. I'll be like, no, bro, the best way to be able to get in contact me is email me. They be like, yeah. Yeah, get my email. Then they hit the email, hey, man, hey, Tom, let's link up or whatever. They don't even. Rita be like, this is how much it costs for an hour of this nigga's time. I'm going to need you to be able to substantiate your paycheck, nigga. Man, I ain't fucking around with that shit. Listen, don't pay me in respect. You could keep your motherfucking respect. Pay me in dinero, nigga. I love you, but pay me in dinero.
I was able to dig deep inside of myself and be like, yo, if I know my worth and I know who I am, the money is a bonus.
No, it's
if
not.
I was to come up and get 20, 50, 50, 60 million dollars, like I would know what to do with that shit immediately. I would go back and help motherfuckers who have ideas, who've never got a second chance, third chance. Like, it's not about me going to live a life that I've never lived before. Like, I feel like during my 20s, I've done shit around big time motherfuckers that I don't really need to go reduplicate that shit.
Nope. I want the Lamborghinis. I want the Tesla trucks. I want all of that shit. I want everything. If you're going to take up my time, and it ain't that I don't love you, is that I could be doing something else to increase the value of my time. I could go be playing with my daughter. My nigga, I got a limited amount of time. I'm going to need you to be able to substantiate my time. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. And I don't think that that's unreasonable. You could shout out to Rashad McCants. God bless you. I'm not built like that. I'm not built like that, bro. I already am too low of my price because I'm giving it to you for yesterday's price based off of the value of my time. I ain't even charging you what I charge corporate clients. I'm going to need you to respect my time, big dog. Ladies, same thing. You're not special. I don't care what you look like. I don't care how many BBLs you got. None of that shit matter to me. I need you to be able to justify how it is that we going to spend our time together. You paying for this to get this work too. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to move on. I got one more thing I want to share with y'all really quickly. Service USA is in the building with the fireball. Said, get these likes up, ninjas. Shout out to you. Chip Osorio says, my father advised me to put away 15% of every paycheck into my 401k. Have done this religiously since 1999 and my 401k is now in the 7 figures. Can we get a round of applause for that? My OG told me, the first person that I had start getting money with inside of the plant told me to put up 25% of everything that I make. 25% of everything that I make and never touch it. Never touch it. So shout out to you. JC Incorporated says Jackie Long hasn't paid back money owed to 50 Cent. And these niggas meant to get their money up. Executive Suite MLE says Rashad was the first NBA victim of the Kardashian curse. He dated Khloe when he played for the Wolves. He talking crazy up there. Happy to be broke? Facts. Nah, man. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I don't want to talk. Shout out to my dog, Executive Suite MLE. I appreciate you. Let me move over into this last story because it's important for us to highlight the different things that's happening in society, because I told y'all and I warned y'all a long time ago that y'all need to be a little bit more intentional with how it is that you move in as far as anticipating what your next move is, not living based off of your current circumstance. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get it popping.
Look around. Okay, across the street, we have a delivery truck carrying food to offices, construction sites all around. Sheetrock, where'd it come from? On a truck. Nothing moves without us. Many owner-operators now are homeless. They cannot afford to have a home. This is my home.
It breaks my heart to know that people are victims of ignorance. That's the best way to put it. And ignorance is not something that's bad. It's something that's real. To be ignorant is just to not know. You know, a lot of us get money early in life and we think that shit is going to last forever. It's not. A lot of us make a lot of money at certain times in our lives and we don't put up for tomorrow. That's not kosher. It's going to be bad out here in these streets. And so it's one thing to do it because that's what you're doing in order to make sure that you cut costs, expenses. You're doing it because you can. It's another thing to do it because you don't have no choice. And that's the thing that I want to separate you from. It's nothing wrong with making the adjustment no matter what. We seen a yellow truck company go out of business and they had tens of thousands of employees, ain't getting no pension, $700 million bailout. Everybody just out on the street is just gone. It's just gone. And again, I want to separate things because it's one thing to do it because this is what's in our best interest. It's another thing to do it because this is what you have to do.
I live with my truck, whether I stay in a hotel or I sleep sitting up in the driver's seat. This is my home. Why? I work 12 to 14 plus hours a day, but I don't earn enough.
This is Billy Randall.
He worked 14 hours a day and he don't even earn enough to be able to have a dwelling outside of sleeping in his truck.
Long-haul trucker for over 30 years. We're working on a new series now about jobs in America that used to be stable and middle class and are all but gone. One of the most dramatic shifts from good job to bad job is in the trucking industry. Trucking used to be one of the most coveted blue-collar jobs in America. The average trucker made $110,000 a year. That's enough to raise a family and have a home. Now many of them, like Billy, are barely making minimum wage.
We're tired of...
To go from making over $110,000 when $110,000 actually was worth more than what it is today to making minimum wage. Let me ask you guys a question. What job in America? I need y'all to let me know in the chat. Think this shit through before you answer it. What job in America? What blue collar job in America today that will be here 10 years from now? Because I want to change the way you think about your career, money, long-term investments, everything. What job, blue collar job today is guaranteed to be here in 10 years that you can make $100,000 on right now? Think about that shit and let me know in the chat.
Being the back of the economy because our backs are broken.
We're going to unpack exactly what happened through the stories of two truckers that are struggling. One who's been a driver for decades and one who's trying to make a life for himself in the industry. This is the classroom for More Perfect Union, and today we're looking at why truckers can't make a living.
All hours worked, all hours paid.
I met Billy at a rally in DC with the Truckers Movement for Justice. Billy's a little bit of a wild man. He's currently trying to lead strikes in the coal mines of West Virginia and the oil fields of Texas, and I think he might pull it off. Billy has a vision. The truckers
Y'all said plumbing, HVAC tech, law enforcement. Yeah, a lot of people overlook law enforcement. Construction worker, U.S. Steel, surgeon. No. Y'all saying surgeon and all of this other type of stuff. What blue collar is guaranteed to be here 10 years from now? Blue collar, I see a lot of y'all keep saying plumber, welder, electrician, home builder, automotive, that you can make $100,000 today that is guaranteed to be valued the same way that it is 10 years from now when it's not going away. Electrician, construction, military, okay, I like that. Mechanical engineering in the oil and gas field. And the oil and gas field going to be, is that going to be what it's going to be 10 years from now, what it is today? Do we know? Firefighters, nursing, plumber, PLC programmers, technicians, HVAC, blue collar, y'all. Oil, OnlyFans model. Fire optic splicer. Homes are 3D printed now, facts. Electrician, plumber, and an HVAC tech. Now, a lot of y'all keep saying electrician, general contractor and stuff. Let me ask y'all a question. Is your back going to be able to deal with the same shit that it's dealing with today? A lot of y'all tired right now. A lot of y'all are tired right now. Your knees need a replacement. You're going to be crawling in all of these small crawl spaces, laying wires, electricians, and all of this shit. Let me ask you another question. Is there going to be somebody cheaper to be able to replace you? These are all of the questions that y'all should be asking yourselves as y'all go through these processes. These are the questions that I want people to be asking themselves, because I don't want you to forever look at it from a worker's perspective, having your lifestyle depend on what it is that you bring home every day. I want you to start looking at what you can plan for long term that allows you to be able to maintain your standard of living for the rest of your life. Okay?
Truckers will be organized again after 40 years of not having power. Let's go back a little bit. This might be what you think of when you think of a trucker. An outlaw, a guy on the road with nothing to lose. But in reality, a lot of them lived pretty regular lives and went home to their families every night.
It was a hard, dirty job, but it was a good job.
The truckers I met in Washington all had the same complaints.
Breakdown, honestly, that put me out of business. I don't want to lose my company, I don't want to lose my trucks, I don't want to lose my home.
The pay is low, the cost of doing business is high. Let's get back to Billy. Like 350,000 other drivers in America, Billy is an owner-operator, meaning he owns his own truck. It also means he's responsible for the overhead, repairs, insurance, maintenance. And if something goes wrong, it can cost him.
Today the truck broke down. A very minor repair, but nonetheless, it created a problem with the delivery. I've got, not to publicize this, $1,200 to my name.
Truckers like to say if you bought it, a truck brought it. Truckers take great pride in that work, but that work can often be pretty tough for them.
He said he got $1,200 to his name. Shout out to Lifestyle Enthusiasts. I'm going to be acknowledging that super chat shortly. $1,200 to his name. He's been working in the industry for over 30 years. Over 30 years. He ain't sitting up there with a bunch of platinum chains on. He don't have no super fast cars that he could show for it. We not even sure if he got a 401k, a retirement. We don't know what the fuck he got going on. You know what the funniest part about it is? I was talking to somebody and they was giving me the game. And this was a couple years ago when trucking was really, really booming during the pandemic. And you had all of these gurus trying to convince y'all and tell y'all how y'all was supposed to get into trucking, right? And it's hilarious because somebody was trying to get me to get into trucking. And so like I do everything, I started to vet through and have the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to invest in a company, right? And so I was like, well, how is it that y'all going to be able to recruit drivers? And what if the prices change? And what if we buy this truck and then it has a breakdown and we don't have anybody on the road making money? And so I started asking all of these questions, and I was like, hey, I'm not really even sure that you're supposed to be in the business. And he was like, you think so? I said, yeah, you need to pivot because this is not something that's sustainable. Based off of the way that he was running the business. He wound up pivoting. He's doing phenomenal now. Every day he thanks me as a result of the conversations that we was having.
For them.
This is Steve Vaselli, a former truck driver who's been studying the industry for over a decade. Steve says one of the main causes of wage decreases was deregulation. Before the 1930s, trucking was unregulated and stuck in boom and bust cycles. The economy would be strong and things would be moving in trucks, and then suddenly there would be a downturn and truckers were out of work. Trucking is so crucial to the economy that in 1935, the federal government started heavily regulating the industry by setting shipping prices and limits on how many trucks could be on the road.
The federal government essentially set the rates for trucks. If you were going to move steel from Youngstown to New York, you would go to something called the Interstate Commerce Commission, and you would say to them, hey, my costs to move this steel are $1 a mile. And the Interstate Commerce Commission would say, well, okay, then you can charge $1.06 per mile to your customers, whether it's U.S. Steel or a mom and pop machine shop that needs to move it.
Freight was moved from terminal to terminal, where local deliveries would combine smaller loads together and send them to the next terminal through long-haul truckers.
What that meant for drivers was a lot of them were home every night and they had regular schedules. It also meant that those terminals were easier to unionize.
The whole industry was unionized and regulated under the National Master Freight Agreement, negotiated by the Teamsters, which was one of the most powerful unions in the United States.
The Teamsters, I believe, represented the Yellow Trucking Company that also just recently went out of business and went under. The Teamsters represented the Yellow Trucking Company, I believe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Shout out to Anastasio. Represented the Yellow Trucking Company and many other industries that are now going out of business.
That all ended when Jimmy Carter signed the Motor Carrier Act of 1980 in an effort to lower prices for consumers. This was a bipartisan effort.
You probably don't think of truckers as timid people, but that's because you haven't seen how some of them react when you say competition.
Republicans, Democrats, and industry were all involved. And in a way, deregulation worked. Prices went down for consumers and rates went down for shippers. And it opened up competition so that the larger stores, think Walmart, Kmart, Costco, could haggle for lower prices. Remember that under regulation, the government set shipping prices for all stores, big and small. So deregulation brought us the world of cheap shipping that we live in now.
What that meant for truck drivers was a lot of really bad jobs.
Thousands of smaller trucking companies went out of business in the 1980s, and something else changed that made the job harder. Freight started moving point to point, from the shipper's location all the way to the customer.
For drivers, that means that they're living out of the truck. They're essentially working 24 hours a day, and they can't know exactly when they're going to be home.
That's called a free market. That's called capitalism, right? Basically, the price or the value is something based off of what people are willing to pay for it. It's a supply and demand issue. During the pandemic, everybody was making an egregious amount of motherfucking money. Everybody was getting a bag, which is why you're seeing 1,000 gurus telling y'all to go out and get into trucking and buy a bunch of trucks. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy a truck, or it doesn't mean that you should buy a truck. It means that a lot of people aren't informed and that they just automatically thought that getting into the trucking business was going to make you rich. It was cap. But when you deregulate an industry, then what happens is the market determines what it is that you're paying for that particular product. It's simple. You don't get a set wage, but then at the same time, when everything is booming, you make an exponential amount of money, and you can't complain about the fact that, well, they making all of this money and whatever, so on and so forth, I should get paid more money. No, you have a set price, but you home every day. But now you get what you earn, and if you want to be able to pick up a certain type of freight, or it's cold freight, or whatever the name of it is, or it's that frozen stuff or whatever, and you want to go all the way fucking across the country, and you want to live on the road, and you want to live in your truck, you may make more money, right? Or if a whole bunch of people get inside of the industry, it lowers the prices because everybody is now undercutting each other, right? And so that is called market capitalism, that is then determined based off of supply and demand, and then how much somebody is willing to pay for something, depending on what the market dictates. Housing, lumber prices. When the pandemic, interest rates are super low, right? When interest rates was super low, everybody was trying to go and buy a house at the same time. Drove up the price of the houses. Money was cheap. It's the same thing when it comes to any industry, including trucking.
And the thing is, truckers don't make overtime. That's right. Truckers are one of the few workers that are exempt from overtime in our labor laws. So a trucker can be working 100 hours a week and not make close to minimum wage.
Yeah, reefer freight.
All of
That's
these
what it's
changes
called.
have created a
Reefer
labor
freight.
crisis. The turnover rate at most companies is now well over 100%. That's why every year the American Trucking Association claims there's a driver shortage.
80,000 drivers short amid the supply chain crisis. This historic trucker shortage again.
And in less than a decade, it's projected to get even worse.
And you know what the funny part about it is? It's not a shortage. It's an overabundance of drivers, which also drove the prices down. And you know what the interesting thing about trucking is? Not only is it going through a boom and bust cycle, but technology companies are trying to innovate trucking in order to not depend on y'all in the first place to drive costs even further down. Meaning that all this automation is not necessarily to keep drivers happy. It's so that they can sell you software, make more money for the technology companies, and then eliminate all of the issues that come along with trying to hire people during boom and bust cycles. You can control costs. You can drive out the human aspect of it, what then makes it more reliable. And then it's managed by technology, which then causes more disruption for the people that are working in these industries. Everything is going to be innovated in one way or another. The question that y'all need to ask yourselves, the question that we need to be asking ourselves is, are you going to be at the forefront of it and not affected by it by then leveraging what it is that you make now in order to make more money as a result of it? Or are you going to be the person that's reacting to it and then advocating to the federal government in order to try to fix your job or pay your pension? That's the question.
Billy is 71 years old, and the average driver is 48 years old.
Man, listen. At 71, I don't want to be fucking grinding like that. Whatever it is that I'm doing it, I want to do it because I love it, not because I have to. At 71 years old, I'm not trying to be in these streets. I'm 41 right now, and I'm moving with vigor. At 71, man, cut that shit out. I'm about to read super chat shortly. At 71, I'm not trying to be in these streets trying to compete with you motherfuckers. I'm not trying to compete with 48-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, or 20-year-olds. At 71, I don't want to have to work in order to try to maintain or try to survive. Fuck that. And I know it seemed like it's a long time away for y'all, but I'm telling you, it's going to be there like that. It's going to be there like that. A lot of y'all, even if you're making a lot of money with regard to trucking, that's cool. I feel you. Absolutely get that shit. This winter, when my daughter is out of school, I'm not even going to fucking go to Miami. I think I'm going to go to Hawaii. I heard that the weather is better in Hawaii than it is in Miami during the wintertime. I've never been to Hawaii. I got a lot of countries I want to visit, a lot of places I want to go to, all of that. You are basically telling me that this man is going to work until he dies. He's going to work. His entire life is a fight to survive until he dies.
The industry needs younger drivers to enter the business and stay, like Caleb Fernandez. Unlike Billy, he's a company driver, and he's paid by the mile. He also uses the company's truck. While Caleb doesn't have the same expenses as Billy, he has to worry about something else: surveillance.
The biggest problem solving that I do in my day is working so that I can be legal in the regulations.
In 2017, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration introduced electronic logging devices.
So I've got 6 hours left that I can work until tomorrow.
These logs are meant to keep the drivers from working too long and to make sure they take breaks. But what it really does is mess with trucker autonomy.
It tracks my location and knows if I've been moving the truck around, so I can't lie and say that I've been driving less hours than I have been. So it lets you know on the e-log if you're doing something illegal. It'll warn you, hey, wait a minute.
Drivers start the clock and have 14 hours to work before they have to take a 10-hour rest. During that shift, they can only drive for 11 hours and take 3 hours for stops or deliveries. The problem is, they might get stuck waiting on a load, or they might break down, or they might need to take a long nap, but the clock keeps running.
And y'all didn't want to be regulated. Remember, you wanted capitalism, but then you got capitalism and you said no regulated, so now they're trying to regulate you. So which one you want? Which one do you want? You want regulation, or you want to be able to chill? My point is this: you can't have it both ways. And I want you guys, and the point of this whole thing was to convince you guys to not betray yourselves. Do not betray what is in your... Betrayal has nothing to do with somebody is going to do to you. Betrayal has everything to do with what it is that you're doing to yourself. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. And I want you guys to think through what you want your future to be, not just what your current circumstances are. Let me read a few super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here. I had to give y'all this work on this Monday. Lifestyle Enthusiast is in the building. Says, Big Unc, really need to get in touch with you. Need your insights, advice, and guidance. Peace and love to you and Rita. You about to have me fighting with my wife. Y'all about to have me fighting with my wife.
Hello.
Hey, you busy? I'm on a live stream.
I'm getting my hair done. What's going on?
I got one person that I need to push in. I'm taking executive authority. Why you laughing?
Because I like how you saying that you're doing executive authority because you already know what I was about to say.
What was you about to
Go
say?
ahead. You don't have the capacity.
Honey, put them in. Put them in. Put them in on a weekday, on a weekend day, and then we gonna figure it out. Okay?
Weekend day, like family day, one of those days.
It's only gonna be for like an hour. It's fine. Just put it in for a weekend day. I love my people. I gotta make sure that they're taken care of. It's gonna be specifically lifestyle enthusiasts. Okay? Hey, you hear me?
I heard you.
Come on now. Let's get it together. What time you come back tomorrow?
I don't know if I'm coming back tomorrow. No, I'm just playing. I think like 7.
7 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make sure you're taken care of. You got this.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Lifestyle enthusiasts, send me another email. Put it at the top of the chat. Anton said he was going to squeeze me in over the weekend. There you go. All right. Shout out to Lifestyle Enthusiasts. I got you, big dog. Send me an email now. Performance Chip says, Joe Biden's America. Shout out to Performance Chip. I appreciate you. Anastasio Rodriguez says, I'm a trucker. I make $80,000 only going up and driving a garbage truck. In 10 years, there will be garbage, investing 20%, looking for a second job. Shout out to Anastasio Rodriguez in the building. Rise and Grind. I appreciate you, Rise and Grind, holding me down with the 10 ball. Says, thanks for another great show. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Anthony says, good morning, Anton. Good morning, Anton. What's the good side of business? What's a good side business to get into? Well, I don't know if you want to call it a side business. I always love real estate. Real estate is my thing. If you just want to do it on a smaller scale, I think that you can take out the risk if you want to just do a DoorDash and then allocate a lot of that money in order to be able to invest or save for your first property in real estate. But send me a message inside of the Patreon when y'all join tomorrow. I want y'all to join the Patreon tomorrow. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Don't join today. Join tomorrow. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, Anthony. The Nice for Everything says, Diesel Mechanic. Everything is going electric, though, Diesel Mechanic. Pusha P is in the building, says, thanks to you, Anton. I've been making some of the best financial decisions lately, and that's without a coaching call, just from common sense. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description tomorrow. First thing tomorrow. Matter of fact, first thing tonight, because we're going to be streaming on Q Show. So make sure y'all tune into the Q Show on the Anton Daniels channel on the other platform. Make sure y'all get that Teach Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. That link is in the description. If you have not, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications. I need y'all to do me one more favor. We streamed a little longer than usual because I wanted to make sure I added this value into y'all. But make sure that y'all tap into the Patreon tomorrow and then do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be rich by ourselves. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Y'all, let's do the thing that's in our best interest and let's get that work. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.